8 mit der 25, der Catcher Elias von Garsten. Batting 9 mit der Nummer 6, Alex Schlitter-Schulstop. Und natürlich klar, Mike Rosenberg, der Starting Pitcher. Kommen wir zur Aufstellung der München-Haar Disciples, habe ich höchstpersönlich bekommen vom Head Coach Philip Howard, Chris Howard und natürlich Ruben Manriquez. Es geht los mit der Nummer 6, Titus von Kapp. Mit der 32, Michael Clegg. Mit der 40, Darren Fischer. Mit der 71, Bernd Radovic. Kommen wir zur Starting Lineup. Mit der Nummer 1, Lukas Steinlein. Batting Second mit der 37, Nate Thomas. Batting Third mit der 27 auf dem Rücken, Chris Zieler. Batting Fourth mit der 34, unser Catcher Will, der Machine Thorpe. Batting Fifth mit der 23 auf dem Rücken, Austin Diener. Batting Sixth mit der 25 auf dem Rücken, Richie Klein. Batting 7, 67, Miguel Pinero. Batting 8, mit der Nummer 48, Dennis Wallace, unser First Baseman. DH mit der Nummer 22, Batting 9, David Wallace. Starting Pitcher für unsere Disciples wird heute sein Jan Thomas. Ganz kurz noch zur Vorstellung. Die Unparteiischen des heutigen Tages werden sein Daniel Divaco und natürlich Andreas Boxleitner. Darüber hinaus Stefan Hempfling. Danke an die Unparteiischen. Conference hier. In wenigen Minuten wird es noch losgehen. Es werden noch die Ground Rules besprochen. Die haben sich wahrscheinlich im letzten Spieltag nicht geändert. Also, wie gesagt, seid Zeuge des Spitzenspiels der Bundesliga South. Regensburg auf Platz 2 mit 7 Wins.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Haar Disciples Baseball Television. My name is Tim Collins, and we are coming to you live on May Day, the 1st of May 2018, here in Haar Disciples Ballpark, the Sports Park Egelfing. And it will be the first meeting of the year between the Buchbinder Legionäre Regensburg and the Haar Disciples. These two teams coming in at 2nd and 3rd place, respectively. The standings in the Bundesliga South currently led by the Heidenheim Heideköpfe. They are 8-1. Regensburg, having swept Saarlouis over the weekend, they are 7-3. Haar swept Ulm over the weekend. They are 6-3. Mannheim in 4th place, 6-4. Mainz behind them also at 6-4. Saarlouis in 6th place at 2-8. Stuttgart at 2-8 in 7th, and Ulm in last place at 2-8. And so the tight standings of the Bundesliga South, even the 3 last place teams have played well. Remember, Ulm, the last place team, they beat Regensburg 2 weeks ago. Regensburg suffering only 3 losses all year, 2 of them to the Heideköpfe and 1 to the Ulm Falcons. That was a 10-7 victory. And Jan Tomek is on the mound, the right-hander, former Buchbinder Legionäre. He pitched for the Legionäre in 2016, team that made it to the finale and lost to the Mainz Athletics in 4 games. And behind him defensively, the Haar Disciples lineup looks like this on the field. Christoph Ziegler is getting the start at 3rd base. Nate Sean Thomas is at shortstop. Richard Klein is at 2nd base. Dennis Wallace is at 1st base. That's the infield from left to right. The outfield from left to right, Miguel Pinheiro is in left. Austin Diemer is in center. Lucas Steinlein is in right. Behind the plate and catching, William Thorpe having a great year both behind the plate and at the plate as a hitter, and he's going to be dealing with Jan Tomek on the mound. Tomek is going to face a lineup that looks like this. Lucas Jan leads off and plays 2nd base. Matt Vance, the left fielder, bats 2nd. Eric Harms, who is having a great season with 3 home runs, hitting 3rd and playing center field. Mitch Stefan, the former Haar Disciple, one of 2 on the Buchbinder Legionäre. Jose Palacios not in there due to an injury, unfortunately. But Mitch Stefan makes his return, and he's batting cleanup and playing first base for the Legionnaire. Mick Weigel, the designated hitter, bats 5th. Nino Sakaza, the third baseman, batting 6th. Marcel Jimenez, the right fielder, batting 7th. And Elias von Garsen, the catcher, will bat 8th. And the young shortstop, 19-year-old Alex Schmidt, bats 9th. And that will round up the lineup. This ballgame, of course, brought to you by Baseball Jobs Overseas, as well as the Kreissparkasse München, Starnberg, Ebersberg, and the Gemeindewerk Haar. Wir sind näher. Heart Disciples Baseball about ready to begin. It's 1 minute after 3. The umpires for today, Stefan Hempfling is behind home plate, Dan DiBacco up the first baseline, and Andreas Boxleitner on the first baseline. And so we're about ready to begin, as Lucas Jan stepping up to the plate, batting .316, left-hand hitter with power. He does have a home run this year, and 8 runs batted in. And the first pitch will be at roughly 3:02 p.m. And on-plate umpire says play. Jan Tomek's first pitch is low for ball 1. We are underway. Tomek has been great this year, and he has gotten 0 run support. He has a record of 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes on Lucas Jan. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball slowly hit left side. Thomas gloves, throws on the run, and got him by a step, 1 down. I think Nathan Thomas called off Chris Ziegler. Ziegler would have had a more awkward throw to make, as his momentum was carrying him. He would have had to turn his body backwards to get that throw off, and Thomas, very relaxed, able to make the play. 6-3 on the putout. There's 1 down. A little bit more about Jan Tomek. 27 1/3 innings pitched, an ERA of 2.31. Record of 1 win, no losses, 30 hits, 7 earned runs, 9 walks, 22 strikeouts. The first pitch to Matt Vance is low, ball 1. Vance comes in hitting 6 for 29. That's a 207 clip. He does have a home run, and he's usually an on-base machine. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's a strike. I think it was a 1-0 pitch. Now the count. Scoreboard says 2 balls and 1 strike. I wonder if I missed a pitch. I think it's 1-1. Tomek, the right-hander, deals, bouncer, chopped foul. That's strike 2. Tomek wearing a blue glove today. Normally they force you to conform the colors of the glove to the uniform, but I don't see any realistic reason why that should be a big deal. Tomek, a right-hander from the Czech Republic, pitched last year in the Netherlands for Curaçao Neptunus. There's the 1-2. Popped foul behind the plate, out of play. Vance had a hittable pitch and fouled it off. It's a little bit cooler today than it was the past weekend, but still very nice weather. A few holes in the otherwise partly cloudy sky. And the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball hit up the middle. Thomas to his left, gloves it, spins, throws from the outfield grass, and his throw is wild, and it gets through everything and goes all the way to the soccer field. So that'll be a throwing error. Matt Vance is safe at second base. We'll see if they score that a hit and an error or just an error. Thomas really fired it. It would have been a heck of a play. The ground ball was not hit all that hard, and Thomas got to it behind second base, spun, and with a jump throw, and his throw was way to the outfield side of first. And so Matt Vance is on second base. And that will bring up Eric Harms. Eric Harms hitting .364. He's got 3 home runs on the year, 16 runs batted in, an OPS of 1,133. Nicht schlecht. Bis soweit. There was a youth game between the Legionnaire and the Disciples live pitch teams earlier today, so a lot of the young kids have stuck around. It's a pretty full ballpark for the beginning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. First pitch breaking ball. Harms went fishing. Strike 1. And that last play is indeed only an error, so no base hit given on the play. Or, well, the scoreboard in center field says that there is one, but on the game changer it says error. So, okay. Next one. Slow tapper left side. This is going to be a tough play. Ziegler gloves, throws, and he got him. Good play. Chris Ziegler very calmly making that throw to first base, and Vance moves to third. And that will bring up Mitch Stefan. Stefan, who played for almost the entirety of the Disciples' life in the Bundesliga, came from the Füssen Royal Bavarians. So runner at third. Stefan struggling in the early going. 8 for 46, that's 174, but he breaks his bat and rolls one out to Ziegler with the shift, who fields and throws to first. And the inning is over. 3 weak ground balls induced by Jan Tomek, and he pitches around a base hit and an error. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the first inning here in Haar. No score between the Legionäre and the Haar Disciples. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert vom Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. The right-hander Mike Bolsenbrook is on the mound, and he's going to take the bump for the Buchbinder Legionäre, and he is just doing what he always does. He has been maybe even better than he has ever been so far this year. 25 innings, and here's his strikeout-to-walk ratio, 28-1. He has 28 strikeouts and 1 walk in 25 innings. He's allowed only 3 earned runs and 17 hits. That's an ERA of 1.08 and a whip of .72. So he has been, well, vintage, I guess you could say. And the right-hander is going to face the lineup for the Haar Disciples that looks like this. Luke Steinlein, the right fielder, bats leadoff. Nathan Thomas, the shortstop, hitting second. Ziegler, the third baseman, bats third. Thorpe, the catcher, is batting cleanup. Austin Deemer, the center fielder, bats fifth. Richard Klein, ex-Legionnaire, of course, batting sixth and playing second base. Miguel Pinheiro, the left fielder, bats seventh. Dennis Wallace playing first base and batting eighth. David Wallace, the designated hitter today, is batting ninth. Defensively, for the Legionnaire, behind Mike Bolsenbrook, this is what we see. Nino Sakaza playing third base. Alex Schmidt, a very talented shortstop. And Lucas Jan is playing second base. Mitch Stefan, of course, not normal to see him on the other side, but just like last week with Josh Peterson coming back, going to have to get used to seeing some of these old faces in new uniforms, and Stefan is playing first base for the Legionnaire. Matt Vance, also a familiar face, but he's always been one of the villains for the Haar Disciples fans, of course, playing left field. Eric Harms is in center, and Marcel Jimenez is in right. Elias von Garsten is behind the plate and catching, and Mike Bolsenbrook, as mentioned before, is on the mound. So Luke Steinlein will step up to the plate. No score, bottom of the first inning between the Legionnaire and the Haar Disciples. And Bolsenbrook, the right-hander who deals from the stretch. And his first pitch is a strike. No surprise there. Mike getting ahead 0-1. Luke Steinlein 7 for 29 this year. That's 241, but he's got 9 walks. Swing and a miss. That was an off-speed pitch. 0-2. So his on-base percentage, Steinlein's, is .410. Bolsenbrook, a guy that does not allow very many people on base, especially this year. And he's very quickly in front, no balls and 2 strikes. And the right-hander's pitch. Fouled to the screen, and that one goes through. And, boy, we've seen that a number of times going back a couple of years. There are some holes in the net. There's a lot of tension where the net is tied to the top of the metal fence, and because of that tension, when a foul ball hits there, it pops right through. We saw that a number of times last year when Ryan Bollinger pitching, and fortunately nobody has been hit directly by one of those foul balls. There's the 0-2. Slow roller left side. It is gloved by the third baseman, Sakaza, and he throws out Steinlein with a good play. 1 down. Well, between both of these teams, the left side of the infield has some good range. You've got Sakaza and Schmidt defensively for the Legionnaire. They both have excellent range. And with Ziegler and Thomas on the left side of the infield for the Disciples, that's also quite a combo, as Thomas himself will step up to the plate now. Thomas has been struggling a little bit at the plate, hitting .219, 7 for 32. But he had a big hit in the weekend doubleheader against Ulm on Sunday. That was only a few days ago, Saturday rather. Pitch is low, ball one. Bolsenbrook thought he had a strike. Does not get the call. Nate Thomas, 7 hits and 32 at-bats. He does also have 6 walks. Switch hitter batting left. Swing and a miss as he was way out in front of something that looked like the bottom fell out of that pitch. Bolsenbrook. Now that's a changeup. That is something that I don't remember Bolsenbrook throwing a lot of, at least so early in the game. That's a nasty pitch. 1-1. And the pitch. Fastball is inside. You can really hear the pop. A lively atmosphere here on the 1st of May, a beautiful day. It's a holiday here in the south of Germany. 2-1 on Nate Sean Thomas. Bolsenbrook's pitch is a strike. Catches the outside corner. Thomas looking for something more in. And Bolsenbrook painting the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here it comes. Fouled away. Looked like he tried that changeup, and he didn't get it enough away. It was more in, and that kind of allowed Thomas's bat to, even though he was way out in front, it allowed him a little bit of time to wait just enough to cue it off to the left out of play. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's 1 out, bottom of the first, no score. The pitch. Fastball just missed low, and the count now full, 3-2. Already a good battle between Bolsenbrook and Thomas. Bolsenbrook, I think, wanted that call. Takes a little walk behind the mound. Let's take a quick look now because Bolsenbrook steps out. Thomas steps out. That was a close pitch. Bolsenbrook 2 meters tall, and when it comes out of his hand, it just goes straight down, seemingly. The payoff pitch. A big chopper to short. It has to, Schmidt has to wait for the second bounce, but he's got enough on the throw to get it there before Thomas, and there are 2 down. Thomas beating that ball directly into the dirt. It took 1 big bounce, and Schmidt, rather than charging it and risk catching it on the short hop, waited back for the second bounce and had plenty of time. Even though Thomas is speedy, still had plenty of time to make the play. So Chris Ziegler will step up to the plate. Ziegler has been great. He's batting .310. Here's the pitch to him. It's a strike at the knees. Ziegler has homered off of Bolsenbrook in the past, I think at least twice. One of those was in EuroLeague baseball play in 2016. And the 0-1. Swung on and foul tipped. That was a little slider down and in. Bolsenbrook very quickly out in front, 0-2. Ziegler 9 for 29. He's got 2 doubles, a triple. He's also walked 9 times. No balls and 2 strikes. Bolsenbrook's pitch. A high fly ball to right field. Jimenez drifting over to his left. He's under it, and he makes the catch. So a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Bolsenbrook, and at the end of 1 complete here in Haar, there is no score in the ballgame. This is Haar Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Welcome back to the top of the second inning, and it will be 5, 6, and 7. Mick Weigel, Nino Sakaza, and Marcel Jimenez against Jan Tomek. And the right-hander's pitch. That's a fastball, and it missed somewhere. Ball one, not sure where. Maybe it was outside. I can't see from my angle. Weigel is hitting .333, 6 for 18, and the next pitch is low, 2-0. He's got 2 doubles, 4 walks. He's the designated hitter. No score. We're in the top of the second inning. I saw a few people mentioning in the YouTube chat there's a swing and a foul at the plate, 2-1. The reason why I turned the volume down on the sound in between innings is because on YouTube you can get flagged for music that gets played in the background. So in case you're wondering where the sound went in between innings, that's where it went. And also, Janis Kroninger was asking what the status of EuroLeague baseball is. And your guess is as good as mine. I think that it was a great idea, and I think that financially it just wasn't viable until they could sell it on a major level and get sponsors. You know, the teams basically funded it all themselves. And they knew that it was going to be a loss, but I think they didn't really realize what kind of financial loss it was going to be. And so after the 1 year, it ceased to exist. Doesn't mean the idea isn't still out there and being talked about. There's the 2-1 pitch. Slow ground ball. Nate Sean Thomas charges, gets a nice big bounce. Throw to first is low, and it's picked by Wallace. Nice play by Dennis. Saving Nate Thomas another throwing error. 6-3 on the putout. And so, with 1 down, 4 groundouts for Jan Tomek, and now Nino Sakaza, left-handed hitting third baseman. He comes in hitting at .345, 10 for 29, 2 doubles and a triple among his 10 hits. OPS of .849, so he's been very productive. This is a Legionnaire team that has scored 95 runs. First pitch is low and goes to the screen, ball 1. They've scored 95 runs while only giving up 33. Now, they did have a few extreme blowouts in there. There was that 21-1 game against Ulm, and then subsequently the next game they lost. 1-0 pitch, a little bit low, 2 balls and no strikes. Tomek with pretty good pop on his fastball today. There's the 2-0. That's a strike on the outside corner. Looked like Tomek took a little bit off of that pitch. And the count now 2-1. Tomek winds, kicks. Here's the 2-1. Little chopper. This is in front of the plate, up the first baseline, grabbed in fair territory by Thorpe, and he throws to first for the second out. That ball almost rolled foul. It almost hit Sakaza while he was out of the box. He was able to avoid all of those things. And Thorpe able to pounce on that ball, following it up the first baseline and picking it up in the dirt and throwing to first base. All the outs have been on the ground so far. And that will bring up Marcel Jimenez. Jimenez, 308, that's 4 for 13, so very limited playing time. He's got 3 walks. And Tomek's pitch is upstairs and inside, ball 1. Tomek allowed a hit to Matt Vance in the first inning, and that's the only base runner of the game. There's no score. We are in the top of the second inning. And the pitch. That slider hits the outside corner. 1-1 from Tomek to Jimenez. Jimenez, a speedy outfielder. He's got good power to all fields. Occasional home run power. There's a 1-1. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Perfectly located by Tomek, 1-2. That's some energy in the park today. Getting some reactions on every pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You hear the train going by. And here it comes. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. Thorpe with the appeal, and he did not go, says Dan DiBacco. Thorpe had blocked it and applied the tag just in case, but it's ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the second inning, no score between Regensburg and Haar. The first of 4 meetings, of course, between these two teams this year. The 2-2. That's low. 3-2 now the count. And the right-hander deals the payoff. And it just missed a little bit low with a slider. Close pitch. Tomek wanting the call, but does not get it. Take a look at that. A little bit down and in. And so a 2-out walk, and that will bring up the number 8 hitter, Elias van Garsen. Van Garsen 6 for 21. As you see Jimenez on first base being held on by Dennis Wallace. Van Garsen 6 for 21 with 2 doubles. He has also drawn 5 walks rather. Right-hand hitter, he is not using batting gloves. That's the old school way. Jimenez good speed on first, not going. The first pitch is outside. Ball 1. Jimenez takes his lead. Tomek gives him a look, and he throws over. With 2 outs, not a bad running situation, especially if Van Garsen gets into a hitter's count. And another throw over there. Jimenez inching off the bag. Tomek comes set. 1-0 the pitch. That's a fastball strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to Elias van Garsen. There are 2 outs in the inning. Runner on first base, Marcel Jimenez. No score. We are in the top of the 2nd inning. These two teams will not meet again until next week. It's kind of a strange way to divide up the series. There's another check on Jimenez at first. The Disciples will do a doubleheader on Saturday versus the Stuttgart Reds. Pitches upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. But then on Wednesday they'll play the Legionäre. Then Friday and Saturday they will play the Legionäre. So Wednesday's game will be the foreigner game. So that will be Bill Greenfield for the Legionäre and I presume Michael Click or Darren Fisher. The Disciples have 2 foreigners at the moment. 2 balls and 1 strike. Another lob toss to first. Jimenez this time having to dive back, but the play was no closer. Tomek obviously concerned with Marcel. The count 2 balls and a strike. You got to be careful and you don't lose your concentration on the hitter. Remember, there are 2 outs. There goes the runner. Pitch is high, and Thorpe now throws back to first as Jimenez had stopped and decided to go back to first base, and Thorpe trying to apply some pressure, throwing behind him. So the count now 3 balls and a strike. The number 9 hitter is on deck, but that's Alex Schmidt, who's batting .400. Not your typical number 9 hitter, so Tomek has to be careful. There goes the runner again. The pitch is outside for ball 4. And so 2 consecutive walks. Remember, Jimenez walked on a very close 3-2 pitch, and then Tomek was preoccupied with him on first base and didn't really come close to throwing a strike to Van Garsen outside of the 1, and now he's got 2 on and 2 out for Alex Schmidt. Schmidt, the number 9 hitter, but he has got an OPS of 1,144. 12 hits and 30 at-bats, 11 walks. So he's been an on-base machine, 3 doubles and a triple as well. So Tomek going to try to have to pitch around the 2 walks, try to end the inning without any further damage. Offensively, Alex Schmidt, a right-hand hitter with good bat control at the plate. And the pitch. He squares to bunt and takes a pitch low and outside. That's weird with 2 outs. Bunting for a hit. Siegler is not exactly back. Siegler is even with the bag at third. Got a .400 hitter at the plate with 2 outs, but trying for the element of surprise, I guess. Next one on the way. He squares again and lays it down foul. He's quick. I mean, he's trying to bunt it to third to force Ziegler in to field the ball, and he's betting that he can beat out the throw to first base. That's really what he's doing. But if he bunts it anywhere then other than to Ziegler, he's giving away the third out of the inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. I wonder if he'll continue to do that. Jimenez at second with good speed, and instead Tomac lifts the leg and looks over there. Tomac caught a base runner doing that. I believe that was against Mannheim. 1 ball, 1 strike on Schmidt. Here's the pitch. Not bunting, and he takes a fastball down the pipe for strike 2. Sometimes just the one pitch, you know, maybe the pitch that he was trying to bunt might have been a hittable pitch down the middle, and he gave it away. You know, you can always second guess everything, though, so I guess that's part of the beauty of this game. 1-2. The pitch on the way. A ground ball towards short. Thomas has it. He will flip it to Klein, and the inning is over. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. And at the end of 1.5 innings of play, we are scoreless here between the Buchbinder Legionäre Regensburg and the Haar Disciples. This is Haar Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. So we move to the bottom of the 2nd inning here in Haar. And there's no score in the game. It'll be 4, 5, and 6. William Thorpe, Austin Deemer, and Richie Klein against Mike Bolsenbrook, who looked as good as he has ever looked in the 1st inning. He threw strikes and got ahead of the hitters and induced weak contact, a couple of ground outs and a fly out. Thorpe comes in with 2 home runs, hitting .400 on the dot. First pitch looked like a little slider, and it's high, ball 1. Thorpe, 12 hits in 30 at-bats, and 6 of his 12 hits have been for extra bases. 2 homers, 2 triples, 2 doubles. That'll do good things for your OPS. Here's the pitch, swinging through a high fastball, 1-1. Thorpe's OPS is 1,300, by the way. That's on base plus slugging. It's a very good indicator for just how much production value a player has given his team between walks and extra base hits. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, hit off the end of the bat down the left field line. Long run for Vance, but that ball is going to be into the bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Bolsenbrook has thrown a slider, a high fastball, and another breaking pitch. That last one was probably the most hittable of the 3. But Thorpe a little too quick and hit it off the end of the bat foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the 2nd, no score. And the pitch. Tapped foul. That was an inside fastball. But with Bolsenbrook, you really do see an experienced pitcher. He has confidence in his pitches. He knows where they're going, as much as anyone can, of course. And he's got a really strong game plan of how to attack different hitters, especially the hitters that know, that they know him. 1-2. And he tried the changeup down and away. You know, oftentimes a fastball inside, it'll force the hitter to start thinking, okay, I got to be a little quicker, got to be a little quicker. And that's exactly what you want them to think when you're going to throw them something soft down and away. There's 2-2. Curve, and it's hit in the air to left field. Vance started back, now he's drifting to his right, and he makes the catch. That, I think, was maybe a mistake pitch from Bolsenbrook. Right in the middle of the plate, and Thorpe just got it off the label. So I think Will, a little frustrated that he didn't do more with that pitch. He put a good swing on it, but sometimes, you know, it's just millimeters between making hard contact and a routine fly out to left. So there's one away. That'll bring up Austin Deemer. Deemer hitting .286, a .940 OPS, 8 hits and 28 at-bats, including a home run, 2 doubles, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, blew a fastball by him, strike one. Deemer has drawn 4 walks as well. Bolsenbrook just challenging him with a fastball on the first pitch. There's the 0-1. And another fastball, this one taken inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It is fun to watch experienced hitters and pitchers do battle with one another, because then you can really get into the cat and mouse of it all. Hitters that have faced guys like this before. There's a foul back to the screen, and it's Bolsenbrook is really bringing it today. And he's such an imposing figure on the mound. He just gets right on the rubber and stares in for the sign. Deemer looking at a 1-2 count. Here it comes. Popped foul again. That was another slider. That one was in the middle of the plate. Similar to the one that Thorpe flied out on. But Deemer put a good swing on that. He fouled it straight back. Whenever a hitter fouls it straight back, that means he had a good cut at it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's 1 out. We're in the bottom of the second. No score. Bolsenbrook from the stretch. The pitch. Got him swinging. That was a high fastball. Went up the ladder. And that's the first strikeout for Mike Bolsenbrook. Take a look at it on the replay. That'll bring up Richard Klein. Klein had a great weekend a couple days ago. I keep forgetting, you know, normally we have a whole week between games, and I want to say last week, it was only 2 days ago. Klein had a 6-run batted in game. Swings and misses at the first pitch, though. Bolsenbrook is bringing it today, let me tell you. Richie doesn't normally use batting gloves, but today he is. There's the 0-1. That's low, 1 ball, 1 strike. And with Bolsenbrook, you can barely blink lest you miss a pitch. Here's the 1-1. Popped up behind the plate, foul, out of play, strike 2. No runs, 1 hit for Regensburg. The Disciples, no runs, no hits. They have 1 error. That error, of course, inconsequential, as we are in a scoreless ball game here in the second inning. 1-2. The pitch. Fastball is high, 2-2. Bolsenbrook tried to go up the ladder the same way he did on Deemer. This time it was too far out of the zone, and Klein able to lay off of it. 2-2. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3, as the slider away gets Klein to chase. 2 strikeouts in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors. Bolsenbrook perfect through 2, and we go to the 3rd inning here in Haar. No score between the Buchbinder Legionäre, Regensburg, and the Haar Disciples. This is Haar Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. We go to the top of the third inning here in Haar. No score between the Buchbinder Legionäre Regensburg and the Haar Disciples. Mike Bolsenbrook is dealing. Jan Tomek gave up a couple of walks in the second inning and a single in the first inning, but has been pitching scoreless baseball, and it will be the top of the order, Lucas Jan, to start things off here in the third. First pitch bounces in, ball one. Jan hit a ground ball to short his first time. He's 0 for 1. I'd like to give a shout out to my mom, who is listening in New York, where I think maybe it finally stopped snowing. 1 ball and no strikes. Fouled into the bat rack right next to the Haar Disciples dugout. You know, sometimes the guys sitting in the dugout, they're lounging around. They got their legs up on the backs of chairs, and that one sent a few people scrambling. Strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. After Jan, Matt Vance and Eric Harms. There's the 1-1 pitch from Tomek. Fouled away. Strike 2. Jan Tomek. Like I said, he has been really great for the Disciples this year. Came into the ballgame with an ERA of 2.3. Has not gotten a lot of run support. In fact, the one game in which he was able to get a decision was a ball game that was scoreless until the 8th inning. He pitched 8 scoreless innings. There's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to the right side. Richard Klein, 1 second baseman, throws out the other. And there's 1 away. Another ground ball out for Tomek. All of the outs in this ball game off of Tomek have been ground balls. But anyway, that game that he pitched against Sarlouis, he pitched 8 shutout innings. And in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Disciples finally plated 2 runs, and then Nate Sean Thomas closed it in the 9th. So Tomek had to hang around for 8 innings to get a win in that game. Doesn't figure to be much easier against Bolsenbrook today. Matt Vance steps up, the pitch. Ground ball slowly hit to the shortstop Thomas. He throws. 2 down. Now, he almost took a little bit too much time as Vance was really hustling down the line. And you can see Thomas when he gets an easy play like that, sometimes he nonchalants it a little too much, and that time he just barely got it. So 2 outs and yet another ground out. That is 8 ground outs for Jan Tomek. And that'll bring up Eric Harms. Harms grounded out his first time. And Tomek's pitch. That's a breaking ball and a beauty right on the corner. Boy, both pitchers are dealing today, folks. And that is a thing of beauty when you get a well-pitched ball game on both sides. 0-1. Ground ball, this one up the middle. Thomas to his left, dives, and it's under his glove into center field. And Harms will be at first base with a single. That's the second base hit for the Legionnaire. Well, Nate Sean Thomas almost really made a nice stop, at least. It remained to be seen whether he would have been able to throw Harms out. That was a high breaking ball. Harms hit it hard, but again, on the ground. And that's going to bring up Mitch Stefan, who bounced out to the third baseman, Siegler, who was positioning himself where the shortstop would normally be. And Siegler right now the only person on the left side of the infield, with Nate Sean Thomas standing directly behind second base. Richie Klein is in short right field. And the pitch. That's a strike. You know, Thorpe set up over the outside part, and that pitch came down and in to Mitch. That's Mitch's wheelhouse. Take a look at the defensive alignment. You can see the positioning. 0-1. Ground ball to the right side, and it gets past Wallace down the right field line, and it's over towards the corner, grabbed by Steinlein. Harms is going to make it to third and no further as the throw comes into Nate Thomas. So Stefan hitting a hard ground ball, and Dennis Wallace, the first baseman, dove to his left, and the ball skipped over his outstretched glove. And so first and third with 2 outs, another rally with 2 outs for the Buchbinder Legionäre. And Mick Weigel and that's Weigel, who is 0 for 1, grounded out to short. And Tomek going to have to deal with the 2 ground ball base hits he gave up. That ball was hit hard. It was probably catchable. It would have been a nice play had Dennis Wallace made it. So another left-hand hitter. First and third, 2 outs, no score. We are in the top of the third inning. And the pitch tapped foul behind the plate. That one actually got a piece of Weigel. Strike one on him. I see some folks in the YouTube chat talking about the frustration of being a baseball fan in Germany. Now that obviously could mean a whole bunch of things. For me, the most frustrating thing, at least being a fan of Major League Baseball, is the time of day that the games take place, especially during the World Series. If it's a particularly exciting game and I want to see it, that means I got to stay up till 6 in the morning, or I have to be disciplined enough not to check social media, and then I'll just watch the next game the next day. First and third, one strike. This ball hit in the air to center field. Deemer coming in. He will not get it. It's a base hit. Harms will score, and Regensburg leads 1-0. That is the first ball hit in the air off of Jan Tomek in a 2-out rally. Stefan stops at first base. Didn't hit it hard. Hit it off the end of the bat, but 3 consecutive 2-out singles, and Regensburg leads 1-0. As you look at the replay, it was a pitch out away. Tomek's is pitching, his pitches trail away from the lefty hitters. And so now another lefty hitter, Nino Sakaza, steps up to the plate, first and second. 1-0 Regensburg. We are in third. Tomek lifts the leg and checks on Stefan at second base. Stefan, not great speed at second base. With 2 outs, though, he can go at the crack of the bat. Sakaza grounded out. He hit that little tapper that was fielded by Thorpe. Pitch is low, ball 1. Stefan on second base. Weigel is on first. His RBI single just gave Regensburg the league 1-0. Sakaza swings over the top of a breaking ball down and in, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one, the pitch. A big chopper to the right side. Klein gets it on the first bounce and underhands it to first, and that will end the inning. 4-3 on the putout, but a run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. At the end of 2.5 innings of play, it is Regensburg 1, Haar 0. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. We move to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in Haar. Regensburg with a 1-0 lead, and Mike Bolsenbrook on the mound has been perfect through 2. He's got 2 strikeouts. Mick Weigel with an RBI single with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, and that's the difference in the ballgame so far. In fact, it was 3 consecutive 2-out hits for Eric Harms, Mitch Stefan, and Mick Weigel. And for the Disciples, they will send 7, 8, 9, Miguel Pinheiro, Dennis Wallace, and David Wallace to the plate against the right-hander Bolsenbrook, who deals. Fastball is a strike at the letters, 0-1. Saw a couple people commenting as well in the YouTube chat about German baseball in general. There's a swing and a miss, strike 2. I think the league has something very good going for it in that there's a lot of equal quality teams, especially in the South where everybody's kind of, you know, fighting for the playoff spot. There's a foul ball off the bat of Pinheiro. One of the worst things for a league is for the same team to win every year, and, you know, for one team to essentially dominate. That is no fun for fans when you already know who's going to win. There's a pitch, just miss outside, a little slider. Bolsenbrook thought he had strike 3. And if you look at who's won the Bundesliga finale, sure, we have great teams. Regensburg is one of the, you know, top teams in the history of the league. But Mainz, there's a fly ball lifted to center field. Harms going back. He turns around, and it's off his glove and trickles off into right center field. Pinheiro is going to be at second base with a double. Or at least, I presume, a double. It was off of Harms' glove. First he turned the wrong way, and the ball tailed away from him. And we'll see how that is scored. And it is indeed a double. Pinheiro got a hold of a pitch off of Bolsenbrook. And so that is the first base hit and base runner for the Haar Disciples, and Dennis Wallace up there, very likely going to try to bunt. He's been struggling with the bat, and he pushes a bunt up the first base side. Boy, if that were a fair ball, it would have been down the right field line, but it was just foul. Strike 1. I've never seen a bunt go down the line before. First baseman Mitch Stefan looks to be sporting a little bit of a mustache, by the way. That's a new thing for him. Stefan is in on the grass, but he's not really that close to the line. And that bunt got past him. It was only maybe a foot foul. Nothing in one on Wallace. He squares again, and he pops it up. Foul territory, nowhere near anybody. Strike 2. Well, Wallace, who's been struggling, 2 for 32. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he might even still be bunting. Here's the 0-2. He is not squaring around, and he hits a fly ball to left field. Vance going back, and he makes the catch. Falls down. Pinheiro tags. He's trying for third. The throw is in time, as there was no umpire within 50 feet of the bag, and it was Stefan Hempling who made the call. And I presume we may see some kind of an argument here. Philip Howard is making his way down the third base line. Pinheiro is on the base. The outfield umpire, Andreas Boxleitner, had to go out to left field to make the call on the catch. It was a close play at third base. And the beef that Philip Howard has is that the umpire was very clearly out of position. But I don't think that much of an argument. I think that Pinheiro was out, and that is that's a big play for the Buchbinder Legionäre, because, you know, that's a tying run. The Disciples struggling against Mike Bolsenbrook. Wallace hit the ball very hard to left field, and Pinheiro was thrown out 7-5, I believe. So it turns into a double play. There are 2 outs and nobody on, and David Wallace took a strike on the first pitch. And here's the pitch. There's a slow chopper up the third baseline, and it's a fair ball grabbed by Sakaza. He throws to first late. That's a base hit. So Wallace with an infield single. Little worm burner up the third baseline. And Sakaza wasn't sure. It didn't really look like it was going to roll foul, so Sakaza kind of had to field it. Well, Pinheiro getting thrown out at third is a tough break, as now Luke Steinlein takes a strike. Top of the order again for the Disciples. Pinheiro's double was hit well. Dennis Wallace, got to give him credit. That's the best ball he's hit all year. That's got to feel good, even though it was an out. And Steinlein drops down a bunt, fielded by Bolsenbrook from the left of the mound, and he fires to first, and he got him at first base. Steinlein, if he gets that bunt 2 feet to the left, would have beat it out, but Bolsenbrook fielding his position very well, and the inning is over. The Disciples do not score. They get no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. At the end of 3, it is 1-0 Regensburg. This is Haar Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. To the top of the 4th inning here in Haar. Tim Collins with you. Hope you're enjoying your afternoon wherever you may be. On the 1st of May, Maypole Day, I guess you could call it, here in Bavaria. 7-8-9, Marcel Jimenez, Elias von Garsten, and Alex Schmidt against Jan Tomek. 1-0 Regensburg, and the first pitch is a slider, down and out, ball 1. Maybe some true Bavarians can explain. I've only heard sort of a mashup of the stories of where the maypole thing comes from. There's a breaking ball. That's on the corner, strike 1. But it is my understanding that the little towns would steal the Maibaum and then put it up in their town, something to that effect. There's 1-1. That's off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1. So far, nobody has stolen the maypole here in Haar. Pitches inside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Tomek gave up 3 consecutive 2-out singles. That was the run, the RBI single off the bat of Mick Weigel. Swing and a miss on a 3-1 pitch. Jimenez with a full count now. This is the biggest crowd I've seen in the ballpark this year. No small part due to the Regensburg fans who have made the trek down here. And it's a nice day for a game. The payoff pitch, low, ball 4. So Tomek now has walked 3 in the game. He's allowed 4 hits and the 1 run. Jimenez has walked for the 2nd time. Jimenez is at first base. Elias von Garsten also walked his first time. Let's see if he's going to do any bunting. Ziegler, the 3rd baseman, is at the cutout of the grass on the left side of the infield. First pitch is right in there for a strike. 0-1. Tomek at 53 pitches. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for the Legionnaire. 0-2-1 for the Disciples. And there's a soft toss over to first. So Dr. No Skills, thanks for explaining. That's you. I see you. I'm pointing to him in the center field camera. That's Dr. No Skills. All right. I love it when there's people live at the ballpark taking part in the YouTube chat as well. Pitch is high and inside. Nope. That's a strike. Excuse me. 0-2. Elias von Garsten having a small conversation with him. Yeah, so the Maibaum would be stolen and put up in another town, and if the town that it was stolen from wants to get it back, they have to pay for all the food and beer. That pitch is a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's a, seemingly good-natured tradition, which has no chance of getting out of hand over time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out Jimenez, the runner at first base. Jan Tomek looking in for the sign from Thorpe. Ziegler still in at the edge of the grass at third. The pitch. Breaking ball. Just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Boy, you can hear the reaction of the crowd with every. Some folks in the YouTube chat asking about the Bundesliga North. The North has a very different look to it this year with the addition of Bremen and Berlin. There's the throw to first base, and Jimenez is back. Yes, thank you again, Dr. No Skills. Where did they hide it? Where do they hide the Maibaum? On top of a school or something. 2-2. The pitch, there goes the runner. It's bouncing ball. Ziegler with a leap, grabs it in fair territory and throws to first. That was a great play by Chris Ziegler. It almost got over his head. It was a big chopper right down the third base line. Ziegler leapt up, fielded it in fair territory. He came down in foul territory and fired to first base in time to get his man. Jimenez goes to second on the play, but that's a great play by Ziegler. And Alex Schmidt will step up to the plate with 1 out. Schmidt, his first time grounded into a fielder's choice. And the pitch. That's a breaking ball in there for a strike. Tomek has been throwing that breaking ball for strikes today. Nothing in 1. The pitch, and instead Tomek again with that little fake move towards second. Jimenez dancing around back there. He's fleet of foot out there. He could come home and score on a base hit with 1 out. 1-0 Regensburg. We're in the top of the 4th with 1 out. The pitch. Line shot down the right field line. That is foul. That was a breaking pitch, and Schmidt really waited on it and sliced it the other way. That was a pretty good piece of hitting, even though he lined it foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. By the way, folks, if you're watching on the YouTube watch page, why don't you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. There's the 0-2. Jimenez going for third, and it's fouled away. Jimenez had a running lead. Still 0-2 the count. I would absolutely love it if folks subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know that highlights will be uploaded here later. And all the rest of the Heart Disciples live streams will be here. You can also give the Facebook page a like if you so choose. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Alex Schmidt, the number 9 hitter. And another leg lift and look towards second base. Still 0-2. Jimenez walked, and he went to second on that nice play that Ziegler made. And here's the 0-2. Off the plate, down and away. Fastball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Jimenez on second base. There he goes again. The pitch pulled foul. Well, with 2 strikes, I'll give a shout out to my sister who is now tuning in from Lovettsville, Virginia, the thriving metropolis of Lovettsville, Virginia. Population 6. My sister and her family. Thanks, Jen. Hope you're enjoying, having a nice day. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And the pitch on the way. And he sawed him off, and he hits a little floater past the mound. Klein tries to barehand it and can't find the handle. Everybody's safe. Well, the bat came to rest on the grass to the left of home plate. That thing shattered. That is firewood, my friends. Let's take a look at that on the replay. It's going to be a base hit, my guess. First and third now. It was a check swing, and it hit him off the handle. The bat went one way, the ball went the other way. And Chris Howard out to have a quick chat with Jan Tomek on the mound. Tomek, who started this ball game looking very good, and then walked a couple in the second inning, pitched around it, and then with 2 outs in the third, 3 consecutive singles. Haven't exactly been knocking the cover off the ball against him. But first and third with one out nonetheless. And if you're watching YouTube and you have German settings, you want to hit the Abonnieren button, the subscribe button. I have my YouTube set to English, so I don't know what it says. Hinzufügen, I think, is add to playlist. You could do that too. So I'm responding directly to you, Helgard. Thank you for the question in the YouTube group. I believe Abonnieren is the proper button to push, but at any rate, we would love it if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're at around 400 right now, which is, pretty good considering haven't really used the YouTube channel for live streaming that much until this year. First and third now. That is the 5th hit in the ball game for the Legionnaire. Now the top of the order, and Tomek's going to have to really wiggle his way out of a jam if he can here. Lucas Jan, first and third, and 1 out. 1-0 Regensburg. Schmidt with good speed at first. Jimenez good speed at third. And the pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. Jan, I think, found that surprising somewhat. No balls and 1 strike to count. He does not say anything, however. Jan, a left-handed hitter. He's 0 for 2. He grounded out twice. Disciples would love another grounder here. There goes the runner. The pitch is low, and a throw to third behind him, and he is safe. The ball was dropped by Ziegler, by Jimenez. Almost caught by Will Thorpe. Thorpe didn't even fake it. He just picked it up and threw to third, and Jimenez would have been out. But the ball was loose. It came out of Ziegler's glove. So Schmidt steals second base, and now the Legionnaire have runners on second and third. All right, that's a break for the Legionnaire. Second and third, corner infielders will come up, but they will play back up the middle. So the Disciples are going to concede a run here to get an out. I suppose they would rather get an out and give up 1 run than give up a base hit for 2 runs. That's why the rest of the infield is not in. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch to Jan. Pulled, foul, and he hit it very hard down the right field line. That's strike 2, though. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tomek has had to really work for it the last inning and a half. He's been inducing tons of ground balls, but those ground balls are starting to take on a little bit more exit velocity, I suppose. 3rd time that Jan has faced Tomek in the game, and he asks for a little breather. Jimenez at third, Schmidt at second. There's 1 out. 1-0 Regensburg. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and he chased a bad pitch high and out of the strike zone. Jan gets himself out. That is Tomek's first strikeout. That slider was nowhere near the plate. And the Disciples will take that. That's the 2nd out of the inning. And Matt Vance will come up to the plate. Vance singled and reached second on the throwing error by Nachon Thomas in the 1st. And then he grounded to short in the 3rd. Still 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. The pitch. There's a slider. That one is in for a strike, 0-1. Remember, this Legionnaire team scored 95 runs versus 33 given up. That is very good, needless to say. Slow ground ball to the right side. Klein charges, gloves, throws, and he got him, and Jan Tomek pitches out of the inning. Another high wire act, but he gets through it. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, and 2 men left on base, and at the end of 3.5, it is 1-0 Regensburg. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. So we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. And Nate-Sean Thomas, 2, 3, and 4. Thomas Ziegler and William Thorpe against Mike Bolsenbrook. Bolsenbrook has allowed two hits, a double and a single. The Disciples had a run-scoring opportunity last inning, but Miguel Pinheiro getting thrown out at third base, trying to advance on a fly ball, squelched the rally. Thomas drags the bunt, and it goes to Stefan, who fields and tries to tag him out on the way by, and Thomas got the hand in there. Stefan tried to glove it and swipe at Nate Thomas, who dove to the right of the first base bag, head first, and got his left hand on the bag. Bunt was not all that great, but that's the desired result. It'll look like a line drive in the box score, as they say. So, Nate-Sean Thomas is aboard. That's the third base hit for the Disciples, and now Chris Ziegler steps up to the plate. Ziegler, his first time, hit a fly ball to right field. He got jammed on a pitch. So Nate Thomas with good speed. He's on first base. Let's see if he decides to do any running. Might wait and see what Ziegler gets. And Bolsenbrook thinking along with me. Throws over there. 1-0 Regensburg. We are in the bottom of the fourth inning, excuse me. The RBI single off the bat of Mick Weigel, the difference in the game. There's another throw to first base, and Thomas is back. Mike Bolsenbrook retired the first 6 batters he faced in this game. Second time through the order for the Disciples, a long hold, and the pitch, Thomas not going. Fastball missed outside, ball 1. You will see pitchers do that when they have a runner that they are concerned about. They will vary the time that it takes between when they come set and when they deliver the ball home. This is meant to disrupt the timing. You know, the runner on first base, Thomas, he's trying to time Bolsenbrook, and there's a throw to first base, and he dives back. It's one of those things that if you're just watching the game, you wouldn't necessarily notice it unless you know to look for it. Thomas on first base. He's taking a walking lead now. Bolsenbrook is set. 1-0 to Ziegler. And again, a long hold. The pitch low and outside, 2-0. And as I mentioned before, when Tomek was concerned with Jimenez at first base, you know, it takes a real experienced professional to be able to maintain concentration in 2 places at once, both the runner and the hitter. And now a quick pitch, and it's way high, 3-0. So Bolsenbrook has changed his timing on all 3 of those pitches, and he's thrown 3 consecutive balls out of the strike zone. All because Nate-Sean Thomas is on first base. Now he comes set. Ziegler will be taking, and he takes a strike over the outside edge. A hitter's count for Ziegler. Bolsenbrook probably going to stay away from him, but Ziegler, the guy who can hit the ball that way. Let's see what happens. Thomas not going, and a throw over there, in fact, to check on him. 1-0 Regensburg. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning here on May the 1st, 2018. Bolsenbrook set. The pitch. Strike 2, same spot. Ziegler now with a full count. Now what do you do? Will Thomas run with a 3-2 count? The Disciples were bitten by aggressive base running last inning, but against a guy like Bolsenbrook, you got to try to make something happen. Let's see what Thomas does. He's not going, and it's a ground ball to shortstop. Schmidt feeds second. There's 1. The throw to first. There's 2. A double play. Well, that's how it goes sometimes. Bolsenbrook was behind 3-0. And he comes back to get a slow ground ball. Schmidt to Jan to Stefan, 6-4-3. And there are 2 outs and nobody on. So that'll bring up William Thorpe. Thorpe hit a fly ball to left field his first time. And the right-hander steps up against Bolsenbrook. And the pitch. A slider at the knees in the outside corner, strike 1. That was a beautiful pitch from Mike Bolsenbrook. Bolsenbrook again deals, swinging a foul. Strike 2. Thorpe with a hefty cut and an inside fastball. Bolsenbrook's fastball tails in on the right-hand hitters. Oh and 2. Davidoff Smoker with the comment about John Lester not caring about base runners. Yeah, that is a good point. You know, there was so much made about John Lester's complete inability to throw the ball to bases in any capacity. And, you know, his strategy is to simply just not allow any base runners at all. 0-2, pitch on the way. Slider, that one's outside. Thorpe took it, 1 ball, 2 strikes. As you know, Bolsenbrook, I was sort of talking about how preoccupied he was with Nate Thomas, and he lost his concentration for maybe 3 pitches, but then he refound it. He realized what priority number 1 is, and that is throw strikes. The 1-2, strike 3, swinging. Mike Bolsenbrook comes back to strike out Will Thorpe. That was a beautiful changeup. The bottom falls out on this. This is a thing of beauty. Watch this pitch. Thorpe was about 5 minutes too soon for that train. So, at the end of 4 complete, it is still 1-0 Regensburg. This is Hard Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Welcome back to the top of the 5th inning. 1-0 Regensburg leading the leading the Hard Disciples. The Buchbinder Legionäre are leading 1-0. Jan Tomek back on the hill. He has thrown 70 pitches, 5 hits and 1 earned run, 3 walks and a strikeout. First batter he faces here, Eric Harms, takes a pitch low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Harms is 1 for 2. He grounded out in the first, and then with 2 outs in the third, he singled, and he came around to score. Now he pops one up, foul out of play. That's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harms, who in the past years had not been so much of a power hitter, but he's become bigger and stronger, and he's got 3 dingers on the year. And he's got a real big hitch in his swing. He's almost attacking the ball like a right-handed David Ortiz. There's a big chopper to Nate Sean Thomas, who gets it on the second bounce from deep short, and he lobs it to first in time to get Harms for the first out here in the 5th. Don't forget, folks, if you're watching on YouTube but you got to go somewhere, maybe you have to drive somewhere in the car, you can listen on meinsportradio.de. They have an app you can download. It's free, and you can also listen through the web link on eurobaseballtv.com. It's also, I think, on the Bundesliga homepage now. As Mitch Stefan steps up for his second at-bat. First pitch is inside. And there's a conversation going on in the YouTube chat about who are the best pitchers in the Bundesliga since Ryan Bollinger left. Well, there's a number of them. A number of them pitch for the Bonn Capitals. Marcus Solbach, swing and a miss by Stefan. maybe Solbach, maybe also Riley Barr. Riley Barr was fantastic for the A's last year, and he moved to Bonn this year. Barr was the only guy that beat Ryan Bollinger last year. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that pitch is a strike at the knees in the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mitch Stefan. Stefan, 1 for 2. Do you think I'll see Mike question from Janis Gröninger. Do you think we'll see Mike Bolsenbrook in the MLB? There's a ground ball to the first baseman, and it takes a hop and goes off of Wallace's chest and comes to rest on the dirt between first and second. That'll probably be another base hit for Mitch Stefan. That ball hit something and came up on Wallace. Looked like it hit him in the right chest between his shoulder and neck area. So Stefan is on first base. Well, Mike Bolsenbrook, he's already done his time. This is to answer the question in the chat from Janis Gröninger, who asked, do you think we'll see Mike Bald in, I'm saying it in German, do you think we'll see him in the major leagues soon? And the answer to that is, unfortunately, no, because Bolsenbrook was already, he was a minor league farmhand for the Phillies, and he had his cup of coffee, and once he was released, because of his age, he's over 30. Bollinger is 27, so he's a little bit younger. Also, Bollinger is a lefty. That's the other thing that set him apart and drew attention to him, even though Bollinger and Bolsenbrook were actually together in the Phillies system. That pitch is a strike, a breaking ball to Mick Weigel. No, but I think, you know, the guys that do have a chance are the young guys from Regensburg that have been signed, like Nicholas Rimmel. Next pitch on the way. A little floating liner. That's a base hit to right field. Stefan will stop at second. Weigel, I think, broke his bat, but he is now 2 for 2. And first and second. 2 for 3, rather, is Weigel. And the Legionnaire have first and second with only 1 out. Now Nino Sakaza, so they're keeping the pressure on here. And some of the young pitchers that have been signed, I guess, well, Solbach also had been in the minor leagues. He got released, and now he's playing independent ball. Independent ball in the U.S. is, you know, it's leagues similar to what the Bundesliga has. They're leagues of players that are not playing for any parent major league club. They're just teams in and of themselves. There's the pitch. Sakaza takes the pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes. Stefan at second, Weigel is at first. 1 out, 1-0 Regensburg. We're in the top of the 5th inning. One ball, no strikes. The pitch. That's a strike at the knees in the inside corner. 1-1. One and one. Tomek's pitch. Little chopper, foul up the first base side, 1-2. Tomek would love to get out of this inning again. He pitched around a base runner in the first, stranded 2 in the second, gave up the run, and also stranded 2 in the third, and stranded 2 in the fourth. He's got 2 on in the 5th, so well, he's been walking the tightrope. So far, just 1-0. Somebody asking, why is Nicholas Rimmel still with us? That is because he's finishing his Abitur, and then he's going to go report to the Twins. Pitches outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, Nicholas Rimmel he's been signed by the Twins, but part of the deal was that he wanted to finish high school, you know, or the equivalent, the Abitur first, and then he's going to report. A chopper slowly hit to Klein. He fields. He feeds Nate Thomas for 1. The throw to first. Scooped by Wallace, but it's not in time. First and third, 2 down. That was a good scoop by Dennis. If that ball gets past him, Stefan would score. So Mitch Stefan goes to third. Weigel is cut down 4-6. That's the second out of the inning. And reaching on the fielder's choice, Nino Sakaza. 2 outs. Runners on first and third now for Marcel Jimenez. Jimenez has walked twice. One to nothing Regensburg. Nate Thomas taking his position back in the regular shortstop spot. Jimenez with good speed. Sakaza at first also with good speed. He's not going. The pitch, breaking ball, waved at and missed. That's the type of swing you see somebody take when it looks like they made up their mind 5 minutes before that they were going to swing at the first pitch. 0-1. And the pitch. 0-2 fastball, blew it right by him. Jimenez looking completely fooled on those first 2 pitches. Normally you don't see that from him. Came in hitting .308, and with his 2 walks, he's now got 5 walks on the year. 0-2 with 2 outs, first and third. The pitch, slider, just missed. Oh, nope, he did get the call. Delayed call, strike 3, and the inning is over. So Tomek does indeed pitch around the 2 base runners. And it's funny because it was a delayed call, so the crowd didn't know necessarily how to react to that one, and we just sort of got like tennis applause after that. But it is indeed the 3rd out of the inning, and no runs come across for the Legionnaire. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left on base. That is 4 consecutive innings with 2 men left on base for the Legionnaire. And we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Haar. It is 1-0 Regensburg. This is Haar Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Here we go, bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 Regensburg. Mike Bolsenbrook back on the hill, and Austin Deemer, the first man he will face here in the bottom of the 5th, and the first pitch is low outside, ball 1. Deemer, and then Klein and Pinheiro, 5, 6, and 7 in the Disciples batting lineup against the right-hander Bolsenbrook, who has struck out 3 and given up 3 hits. He has walked no one. In fact, all year he has walked no one. Just one person, literally. Swung on and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a high breaking ball. One and 1. Fastball. Just missed the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Deemer struck out his only plate appearance. Bolsenbrook has only faced 2 over the minimum. In fact, only 1 over the minimum because there have been 2 double plays. One was an odd double play, and the other was a ground ball double play. This ball popped straight up behind the plate. Von Garson giving it a look, and it's over the screen and lands amongst a sea of Disciples caps and falling leaves as that ball hit the tree on its way by. 2-2. Good energy in the park today. There's a lot of fans, both Regensburg fans and Haar fans. That means we sort of get dueling cheering. Lovely holiday atmosphere. 1-0. We got a good ball game too so far. The pitch on the way. Got him swinging another high fastball, and Deemer couldn't lay off. And that is strikeout number 4 for Mr. Bolsenbrook. Deemer has been 2 of those victims. Deemer has struck out 16 times on the year. That will bring up Richard Klein. Klein also struck out his first time. And Bolsenbrook's pitch, a breaking ball, that's high. 1-0 Regensburg. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the pitch, fouled away, strike one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bolsenbrook, who has almost never taken more than a few seconds between pitches. That time he went to rub the ball up a little bit behind the mound. Now he's back at it. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch decline. That's a breaking pitch outside. 2-1. Bolsenbrook, he's got such clean mechanics. He's got a 3/4 delivery. He really reaches back with that right arm. He's, of course, a member of the Dutch national team. The 2-1 swing and a miss, high fastball. And that's a pitch that the Disciples are going to have to lay off if they're going to want to do anything against Bolsenbrook. He's such a huge guy out on the mound. It's got that downward angle coming out of his right arm, plus it's coming a little bit from the side. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. That was mean from Bolsenbrook. Slider away and Klein with no chance. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Bolsenbrook going back to last inning as well. And that will bring up Miguel Pinheiro. Pinheiro doubled over the head of the, well, he hit it off the glove of the center fielder, Harms rather, who got turned around on a fly ball. But Miggy hit the ball hard, and he takes a fastball strike at the outside corner, letter high. 1 ball, 1 strike to count rather. No balls and 1 strike. Bolsenbrook has thrown 64 pitches. Excellent pitch count. Curve, and that is strike 2. Pinheiro thought it was high, so he takes a little walk. Mike Bolsenbrook, 47 of his 64 pitches are strikes. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Mike Bolsenbrook strikes out the side, and he's got 4 consecutive strikeouts going back to last inning. And the Disciples don't score at the end of 5 complete. It is 1-0 Regensburg. This is Haar Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. So we go to the top of the 6th inning, 1-0 Regensburg. Jan Tomek has been walking the tightrope every inning, but he's still hanging in there. He's thrown 87 pitches, 5 innings so far, 7 hits, just the 1 run, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The hits have not been hit particularly hard against him, but it's 1-0 Regensburg, and Elias von Garsen takes a strike on the first pitch. Von Garsen, Alex Schmidt, and then the top of the order, Lucas Jan, 8-9-1. Von Garsen walked and then grounded out. He's 0 for 1. This pitch is low. Nice scoop by Thorpe. 1 ball, 1 strike. Doesn't matter, though, with nobody on base, of course. Regensburg scored a run in the 3rd inning, 3 consecutive 2-out singles, the last of which was an RBI from Mick Weigel. There's a good breaking ball, swung on and missed for strike 2. Van Garsen waving at that. Tomek has been very effective, even though he's had to deal with a lot of base runners. He's still throwing strikes. He's throwing strikes with all of his pitches. And a check swing on a slider. Thorpe blocks, asks for the appeal. And no, had to wait a while for home plate umpire Stefan Hempfling to point to Dan DeBacco. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. There's nobody out. Van Garsen leading off the inning. 1-0 Regensburg. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Tomek. Fastball just a little bit high. Nope, no, strike 3. Okay. Okay. Stefan Hempfling did not make any kind of motion whatsoever. Just like the last hitter of last inning, but Van Garsen arguing not at all with the pitch. I only saw indication that it was a strike when Will Thorpe threw the ball to the third baseman. So there's 1 away. That is Tomek's 3rd strikeout in the ball game, and Alex Schmidt takes one up on in, and that one hit him. And so Schmidt will take first base. Take a look at this pitch to Schmidt. Looked like it got him on the left elbow. And so he is at first base. So barring a double play, it will not be a clean inning for Tomek. Tomek has not had a 1-2-3 inning in the entire ball game. He's walked 3, and now the hit batter. And the top of the order, Lucas Jan. Don't forget, you got to keep an eye on Schmidt. He's at first base, being held on by Dennis Wallace. Lucas Jan is 0 for 3, grounded out twice and struck out. Last time he chased a pitch 3 feet out of the strike zone. It was a bad slider from Tomek, and he did Jan a favor. There's the pitch to him. Fouls the slider back to the screen. Strike 1. So Lucas has been up there looking for something else. He's checking down with the third base coach, Kai Gronauer, giving signs. Gronauer is standing almost in left field. He is way behind the third base bag. Can't even see him. He's out of the picture there. I guess he's worried about line drives slapped the other way. There's a check on the runner, Schmidt, at first. And Schmidt, who wasn't very far off the bag, had to dive back with the right hand. It was just a little lollipop toss from Tomek, but Schmidt getting back in there. 1-0 Regensburg. We are in the 6th inning, top half. The pitch fouled away. That is strike 2 on Lucas Jan. 0-2 the count. The Disciples do have some depth in this ballgame pitching-wise. Remember, they've got Luke Steinlein, Nate Sean Thomas, and I think Marcus D. Rolfe is around. There's somebody throwing in the bullpen right now for the Disciples. There's the 0-2. Tapped weakly, foul, and the ball hit Jan while he was still in the batter's box. So the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Regensburg got their run. That was in the 3rd inning. With 2 outs and nobody on, Eric Harms singled, Mitch Stefan singled, and Mick Weigel singled. Eric Harms scored, and that is it. The Disciples had a chance to score in the 3rd, but were turned away, and then they had a leadoff base runner in the 4th, immediately followed by a double play ground ball. And it's still 1-0. 0-2 on Lucas Jan. There goes the runner. The pitch high. Thorpe's throw to second base is not in time, and Schmidt steals it. Looked like a breaking ball outside. So Schmidt, who's still dusting himself off, he had to slide head first into second base. He was going. That was not a bad running play. A lot of times you'll see the runner from first take off with 2 strikes. And that's what Schmidt did, and the pitch was way high and outside. Wasn't a bad pitch for Thorpe to throw on, but no chance to get Schmidt, who had a very good jump. So he's in scoring position with 1 out. Now the pitch. Chopped weakly foul. This is backwards behind home plate. Count still 1-2. Thorpe retrieves the ball. Jan Tomek Now he's up to 98 pitches. Might see him go. If he can get a quick end to this inning, maybe he would go beyond that, but I kind of doubt it. 1-2. With one out, Alex Schmidt, the runner at second base. Time is asked for by Lucas Jan. The third baseman, Ziegler, is playing even with the bag, but off the line. Thomas deep at short. The rest of the fielders are playing straight away for Jan, who hits the ball all over the place. 1-2, the pitch. Outside and high. Now the count even, 2-2. Schmidt trying to get a good secondary lead from second base. Neither Klein nor Thomas is anywhere near the bag. The on-deck hitter is Matt Vance. Regensburg 1, Haar nothing. The 1-2, 2-2 rather. That's outside. Now the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. All 3 of the pitches that have been outside have missed. They've been breaking balls. Schmidt from second base, a full count to Lucas Jan. And here it comes. A bouncing ball to the right side. Klein fields it, throws to first. In time for the second out, Schmidt goes to third. And that will bring up Matt Vance. Lucas Jan now 0 for 4 in the ballgame. We're only in the 6th inning. Once again, hope you're enjoying the broadcast from wherever you may be watching. Hope the weather's nice where you are. It's cool here, but it's pleasant. No threat of rain from what I'm told, although I'm sitting under the tent just in case because we are in Germany after all. Matt Vance, the hitter, he's 1 for 3. He singled in the first inning, that's it. And he swings through a breaking ball, strike 1. Tomek swinging, using that breaking pitch on the first pitch. Schmidt from third, the pitch. Line drive, left field, base hit down the line. Schmidt scores to make it 2-0. Vance digging for 2. The ball is retrieved by Pinheiro in the corner. He gets it back in. That is a run-scoring double for Matt Vance, and Regensburg leads 2-0. Both of their runs on 2-out hits. McVeigel's base hit in the third was also with 2 outs. And this was a fat fastball. Thorpe wanted it up, and it wasn't up as high as he wanted it. And it was down in Vance's wheelhouse. And Chris Howard out to the mound to have a chat with Jan Tomek and see what he's going to do, if they're going to make a change here mid-inning or not. There is activity in the bullpen for the Disciples. But so far, no signal has been made. Regensburg leading 2-0. We are in the top of the 6th inning. An RBI double off the bat of Matt Vance. And Chris Howard will head back to the dugout and leave Jan Tomek in there. The hitter now, Eric Harms. Harms is 1 for 3. And I wonder if this might be an intentional walk situation, although, boy, you got Mitch Stefan, the cleanup hitter, on deck. Well, looks like they're not going to intentional walk Harms. They're going to pitch to him. And the pitch, that's inside, breaking ball. It could be that Howard went out to Tomek to talk about how to go after Harms, not give him too much to hit. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss, another breaking ball. Harms that big, long swing, and he swung over the top of it. And the pitch, that is low. Another breaking pitch, maybe a change. And the count, 2 balls and a strike. There are 2 outs in the inning. Another 2-out hit for Regensburg. They lead this game 2-0. Matt Vance's 2-out double, rather. Harms hits a bouncing ball down the line, just foul as it scooted past the third base bag. 2-2. That's a breaking ball that Tomek wants to get a little bit further away. and try to get Harms to swing over the top of it. 2-2 the count. Tomek at 107 pitches. This, I presume, will be his last inning and possibly even his last hitter. Right-hander's done a good job today. And the 2-2. Fly ball, left field. Pinheiro coming in. He's there. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. But a run on one hit. There were no errors and one man left on base. And at the end of 5.5, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Haar. Regensburg 2, Haar Disciples nothing. This is Haar Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. To the bottom of the 6th inning, Mike Bolsenbrook is working on a shutout, a 3-hit variety. He's got 6 strikeouts. He has walked no one. And he's going to face 8, 9, and 1 Dennis Wallace, David Wallace, and Luke Steinlein. Bolsenbrook at 66 pitches. He has been fantastic. First pitch, that's a strike at the knees in the outside corner to Dennis Wallace. Wallace, in his first at-bat, had 2 failed bunt attempts, and then he drove a fly ball to deep left field. Breaking ball fouled at the plate, 0-2 the count. The catch was made by Vance, who then fell down, and Miguel Pinheiro, who was on second base, attempted to move to third on the play and was thrown out, and that was the closest the Disciples came to a rally, I guess. The 0-2, swing and a miss, got him on a breaking ball outside. That is the 7th strikeout for Bolsenbrook and the 5th in a row, excuse me, going back to the 4th inning. Oh, it's Jonathan Hayter, the relief pitcher in the major. I think he's for the Brewers. Struck out 8 consecutive batters last night, if I'm remembering that correctly. Well, Bolsenbrook, 5. He's got David Wallace here. Ryan Bollinger did 9 last year. There's a pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes. David Wallace singled his first time. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, that's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to him. Well, we'll see what the Disciples do next inning. I doubt Tomek will go back out there. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. That was an off-speed pitch, and Wallace way out in front. Bolsenbrook with a 1-2 count on David Wallace. Here it comes. That's a fastball high. Bolsenbrook falling to the first base side after releasing that one. I think he reached back for just a little extra. 2-2 the count now. And Bolsenbrook deals. It's on the way. Line drive, and it's foul past the leap of the third baseman, Nino Sakaza. It was hit off the end of the bat. Little humpback line drive, and Sakaza, I think, initially thought the ball was hit a lot harder than it was, and he dove to his right and just missed the ball. It would have been a nice catch. but it was a foul ball, so the count still 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was another off-speed pitch from Bolsenbrook. Infield back, outfield straightaway. This is the number 9 hitter. Bolsenbrook shaking off a couple of signs. Now he says yes. 2-2, here it comes. Fouled directly back to the screen. He wanted to go to the fastball, and Wallace able to get a piece. Luke Steinlein, the on-deck hitter, over to get the ball. 2-2. Here it comes. This ball lined off the end of the bat. This one right to Sakaza. And he's able to haul this one in for the second out. So that ends the string of 5 consecutive strikeouts. And Bolsenbrook will now face the top of the order. Luke Steinlein with 2 outs and nobody on. In the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Regensburg leading. They scored a run in the 3rd inning, an RBI single off the bat of Mick Weigel. And a run last inning in the top of the 6th. A run-scoring double from Matt Vance. Big chopper over the mound. Schmidt to his left fields, and from behind second throws out Steinlein, and the inning is over. So Bolsenbrook pitches a perfect 6th inning. What else is new? And we go to the 7th. It is 2-0 Regensburg. This is Hard Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Well, we go to the top of the 7th inning, 2-0 Regensburg, and I should really just stop predicting when pitchers are going to come out of the game. Jan Tomek, who's thrown 108 pitches, is going to come back out there and start the 7th inning. He's going to face 4, 5, and 6. In fact, it's 3 consecutive left-hand hitters, Stefan Weigel and Sakaza. And Stefan and Weigel, amongst the two of them, have 4 of the 8 Regensburg hits. Regensburg leading 2-0, 2 runs on 8 hits, no errors. The Disciples no runs on 3 hits. They've made 1 error. And Stefan trying to drop a bunt against the shift. Bunts it to the screen, strike 1. Now the third baseman, Siegler, is playing where the shortstop normally would be. And everybody else is on the right side of the field. Miguel Pinheiro is 200 feet from the left field line, I would say. Oddly enough, Austin Deemer is playing straight away in center field. 0-1. That pitch is low. 0-2. I mean, yeah, the bunt is there for Stefan. He tried it and fouled it. But he wasn't showing any sign of bunt there. The next one, tapped weakly up the third baseline. Thorpe out to try to get it. If that ball stayed fair, there would have been no fielder within 50 feet of it. Still no balls, 2 strikes on Mitch Stefan. Stefan having a good day in his first day back in his former home ballpark. 2 for 3 with a single and a run scored. He scored last inning, and he calls time while Tomek is in mid windup. That is a dangerous thing to do with 2 strikes. I've seen Mitch do that many times. Umpire does not have to give it to you. The 1-2, tapped foul again. Now scoreboard says 1-2. I thought it was 0-2, but we shall see. Regensburg 2, Haar nothing. Sun sometimes peeking through the clouds here. Jan Tomek is out there, the Czech right-hander, pitching against his former mates, of course. And you got to remember the Howard brothers, Chris and Philip, both used to be members of the Legionnaire. This ball smacked to the gap in right center field, and it lands, splits the outfielders. Deemer picks it up on the warning track, and Mitch Stefan has 3 hits, including a double. And he's on second base with a leadoff double. Well, we've seen that before here in Haar. Stefan, 3 for 4, got a pitch middle out, and he really hit a line drive to deep right center field. He didn't get any lift on the ball. So he's at second base to lead things off. Mick Weigel is going to step up to the plate. Weigel is 2 for 3. His first base hit drove in a run. That was with 2 outs in the 3rd inning, the first of the 2 Regensburg runs. And it's another close ball game here on May the 1st, May Day. Weigel, neither of his 2 singles hit very hard, but they were both little loopers to the outfield. Fastball, and that's a strike on the outside corner to the left-handed hitter, designated hitter. 0-1 the count. Stefan not good speed at second base. And Tomek again dealing with base runners. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. There has not been a 1-2-3 inning in the entire ball game. In fact, the closest Tomek came was in the 1st inning when he only faced 4 hitters. Gave up a single to Matt Vance and then retired the next 2. He stranded 2. Next pitch, that is low, ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. He stranded 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. Only 1 in the 6th, but he gave up a run in the 6th. So he's really been having to work for this one. Keeping his team in the ballgame, though. And he has just gotten 0 run support all year, including today. 2-1. That one is a strike called. Letter high over the inside corner. Weigel. Nicht damit einverstanden, können wir vielleicht sagen. Two and 2 the count. Nobody out. Tomek trying to battle through the 7th inning here. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with that off-speed pitch down and away. And Weigel is out number 1. That is the 4th strikeout for Jan Tomek as we take a look at the replay. Perfectly located. Still making his pitches. Well, you got to remember, the Bundesliga is not beholden to the 100-pitch count. It's a little bit more old school here. You tend to see pitchers go deep into ball games as long as they're pitching well. And that's the case today, and it's a lot of fun, in my opinion. Here's Nino Sakaza. And he smacks one right to Ziegler. It's off of his glove and skips out to short left field. Stefan will go to third base. Sakaza safe at first. That's probably going to be an error, but let's see. It was right at Ziegler to his left. It hit the webbing of his glove and just sort of skipped right on past. It was hit pretty hard off the bat of Sakaza. And we will see how that's scored. Here it is again, fastball away, and Sakaza went right with it. And it is indeed an E5. Well, the Disciples have been averaging about 2 or 3 errors per game. And so first and third for Marcel Jimenez. Corner infielders are playing in normal depth. What Ziegler is in on the grass. Infield was looking for 2 up the middle. Jimenez, a tough guy to double up with good speed. Same thing with Sakaza at first, and he lays down a safety squeeze. Stefan coming to the plate, and the throw goes past Thorpe to the backstop. Stefan scores, and the runners move to second and third. That'll be a throwing error, I believe, on Jan Tomek. It looked like he had a little bit of trouble finding the handle on the ball. And again, an error as Jimenez ends up at second base. I guess he'll reach on a fielder's choice. They had Stefan at the plate. It was a breaking ball, fielded by Tomek. He has a little trouble getting it out of his glove, and then he throws it over Thorpe's head. Stefan scores, and all the runners just keep on going. So that'll be E1, and that's also going to be it for Jan Tomek, but he did another great job. He has gotten 0 run support in most of his starts, but he's been hanging in and pitching well and going over perhaps what his limit was. And the youngster Titus van Kopf is going to come in and pitch, 17-year-old right-hander who's gotten 2 cups of coffee so far, and he's going to be thrown into the fire now with runners on second and third and only 1 out in the inning. And Regensburg leading by a score of 3-0. We will take a short break. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. So the 16-year-old Titus van Kopf takes over on the mound, and he's going to face Elias van Garsen with runners on second and third. (3-0) Legionäre leading the Disciples. There's 1 out here in the 7th inning. Sakaza and Jimenez, the base runners. Infield comes in, except for Thomas at short. That's odd. Here's the pitch. Low in the dirt, blocked by Thorpe. First pitch from the 16-year-old, who, by the way, has pitched 3 innings and given up no runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 3, given up only 1 hit. He pitched against Saarlouis and Ulm, and this is now he will be tested against one of the top teams in the league. 1-0. Van Garsen at the plate, and the right-hander's pitch. A little bit low, 2-0. And this is sometimes the thing with a young player. You're facing hitters you know are very experienced, and it can be a difficult thing just to throw a strike and not really worry about it. Van Garsen today, by the way, 0 for 2. He walked. He's also grounded out and struck out. And the pitch. There's a fastball in there for a strike, and he gets a nice round of applause from the fans here. Van Kopf, who spent a year in the Paderborn Academy, but he's originally from the Hard Disciples team and came back this year. Going with the high sock look. 2-1 on Van Garsen. And here's the pitch. Curve, and that is high. 3 balls and a strike. Sakaza at third. Jimenez at second. 3-0 Regensburg. We're in the top of the 7th inning. 3 runs on 9 hits The Disciples, no runs, 3 hits. They've made 2 errors. 3-1, and the pitch. That's a curve up high, ball 4. The bases are now loaded for the number 9 hitter, Alex Schmidt. Well, Jan Tomek is responsible for the 2 lead base runners, Sakaza and Jimenez. Bases loaded, 1 out. Schmidt at the plate. Disciples would love a double play ball here. And the pitch on the way. Fastball, that's a strike right at the knees in the outside corner. Good pitch from Van Kopf. Bases loaded, 1 out. Regensburg 3, Haar nothing. Top of the 7th inning. And the pitch on the way. Curve, and that one spins outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. You can see that's a pitch that he still needs to develop. He's really twisting his wrist around on it, and the hitter can pick up on that. You want to have the same release point so that it looks the same coming out of the hand no matter what pitch it is, but it's only 16, still plenty of time. The 1-1 pitch. Low, and it's blocked by Thorpe. 2 balls and a strike. You know, it's got to be a good thing for a 16-year-old like Van Kopf to come in, and he knows he's working with an experienced catcher. He's got an experienced team behind him. 2 balls and a strike, and time is asked for by Alex Schmidt. He wants to adjust his batting gloves. Sakaza, the runner, at 3rd. Jimenez is at 2nd. They both have very good speed. Van Garsen average speed at 1st. There's 1 out in the inning. 2 balls and a strike to count to Alex Schmidt. Schmidt is 1 for 3 today, by the way. And the 2-1 pitch after a couple of checks. Here it comes. Inside, ball 3, 3-1. Here's the next one. Lined right to Ziegler, and he's going to try for the tag play at 3rd. And they got him! A double play! Ziegler tagged the bag before Sakaza got back. And Kai Gronauer going to talk to Andreas Boxleitner, the 3rd base umpire. But, boy, that's a break for the Disciples. My goodness, a line drive, and it's an unassisted double play. Ziegler made the grab about ankle high and reached and dove for the 3rd base bag with the ball in his glove, and he got the call. So double play ends the threat, no more damage. 1 unearned run does score, however, thanks to the 2 errors. So let's see, let's score that. Line out, and then Sakaza is out 5 unassisted for the 3rd out of the inning. That's an interesting double play. There's been a couple interesting double plays in this ball game. 1 run on 1 hit. There were 2 errors and 2 left on base. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is time to stretch here in Haar. Regensburg 3, Haar nothing. This is Haar Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. To the bottom of the 7th inning by a line out, bases loaded unassisted double play, and Nate Sean Thomas starts the bottom of the 7th by looking at strike 1 from Mike Bolsenbrook. Bolsenbrook, who has been fantastic. He's been his normal self, 6 innings, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts, and that's it. Nate Thomas is 1 for 2. The pitch is inside, under his hands. Thomas beat out a bunt his last time. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Well, there's that tantalizing off-speed pitch. Bolsenbrook seems to have perfected that. I don't remember him having such a devastating off-speed pitch last year. He always had the good fastball and the good slider, but that one really falling off the table. The 1-2, this one is low. He tried it again, and the count 2-2. Bolsenbrook has 7 strikeouts. 5 of those were consecutively. Good ball game here in Haar, 3-0. The Disciples, I cannot remember if they have ever beaten Mike Bolsenbrook in a game. Here's the 2-0. Slapped on the ground, left side, base hit past the third baseman, Sakaza. And Thomas has 2 base hits, and the Disciples have a base runner to start the 7th inning. And that's going to bring up Christoph Ziegler. And Ziegler flied to right and bounced into a double play his last time, 0 for 2. Ziegler, left-hand hitter. Thomas from first. The pitch fouled away, strike 1. Bolsenbrook this time. I remember last time Thomas was on first base with Ziegler at the plate. I spent about 5 minutes talking about all the cat and mouse between the runner and the pitcher. This time he basically ignored Nate Thomas, and he's got a bigger lead now. That time it was 1-0. Now it's 3-0. Thomas not going. The pitch is a slider taken inside for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Thomas did fake on that last pitch, but I think with a 3-run deficit, you're not going to risk having Thomas get thrown out. The Disciples need base runners. The Disciples as a team have only scored 53 runs. The 1-1. That's low. 2 balls and a strike. The Disciples have scored their runs this season in offensive bursts. They got the grand slam from Thorpe. They had the 3-run homer from Richie Klein last on the weekend. There's a toss over to first base, and Thomas is back easily. Bolsenbrook paid no mind to him whatsoever on the first 3 pitches. That time he just flipped a courtesy toss over there. 2-1. Here it comes. Fastball. And it missed. So that's ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. That was a close pitch. Home plate umpire said something to Chris Ziegler after that. Not sure what that was about. 3-1. Oh, 2-2. He made 0 indication that that was a strike, but he does say that it was a strike because he gave the signal. So now the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 with Thomas on first base. Nobody out. There he goes. The pitch. Line drive. Base hit. And it's into left center field. Thomas turning. He's going to third. He is being waved around, and he will score because Eric Harms bobbled the ball in center field. Ziegler goes to second base, and it is a 3-1 ball game. The ball was sliced over the shortstop, Alex Schmidt, into left center field, and it was tailing away from Harms. Harms was racing with his momentum carrying towards that way, and he kicked the ball away for a second, but that ball's going to be ruled as a double. No error on the play. Thomas scores, gives Ziegler a run batted in, and the Disciples are on the board, and now the tying run steps up to the plate in the person of William Thorpe. And a meeting on the mound. Looks like Paco Garcia out there to have a chat with Mike Bolsenbrook. So it's 3-1, Regensburg leading. There is activity in the Regensburg bullpen. This is a long conversation. They're just waiting for home plate umpire Stefan Hempfling to come out to the mound, and now Garcia heads back to the dugout. And Von Garson returns to his spot behind home plate. Will Thorpe, the hitter, he is 0 for 2. He flied out to left field and struck out in the 4th inning. He's up there now with Ziegler on second base. Nobody out. It is 3-1. The Disciples have a run on 5 hits against Mike Bolsenbrook. Trying to climb back into this thing. Bolsenbrook had been fantastic, and that's the first time he's given up a hard hit ball. Will Thorpe, a right-hand hitter, and now Bolsenbrook is going to appeal to first base. They were going to check to see if Ziegler missed the base on his way by, and the umpire, Dandy Bacco, says no. Mitch Stefan is visibly upset about that. And now Kai Grunauer wants to come out and talk to the home plate umpire, Stefan Hempfling. Well, let's look at this on the replay. This is not it. Let's see Ziegler's double. I don't have it. Never mind. Well, you can check on the YouTube replay. The Legionnaire are arguing that Chris Ziegler missed first base on the way by. And the appeal was made, and Dandy Bacco made the call. And I don't really see, frankly, what more there is to say about it. Grunauer has convinced Stefan Hempfling that he wants to have a meeting with the 3 umpires. DeBacco, the crew chief, does not look especially pleased about this. So the 3 umpires are going to meet behind the mound and discuss whether Chris Ziegler missed first base on his way by. Mitch Stefan was visibly upset with the call, and the way that he was reacting to it made it seem as though it should be a very obvious thing. Perhaps Ziegler tripped or really didn't come close to touching first base. But, you know, there's only 3 umpires on the field, and they all have their own role, and Dandy Bacco was ready for it, and he made the call. And it looks as though nothing will change here. So Ziegler will remain on second base. Will Thorpe is the hitter. There has been no pitch so far to Will Thorpe. And right now, we're just waiting for everybody to get back into position. And Thorpe stepping up to the plate, checking the count, and there's no count. You can see he's signaling. Sometimes after a weird play like that, you forget if a pitch has been thrown or not, but indeed there has not been a pitch thrown. Thorpe the tying run at the plate. Ziegler good speed on second, and the first pitch is a curve, and it's in for a strike, 0-1. This is the dangerous part of the lineup, especially Thorpe. But you make a mistake to him, this ball game might be tied. 0-1, here it comes. And a half swing on the breaking ball, and he fouls it to the screen very quickly, 0-2. And that's a tough place to be against Mike Bolsenbrook. Thorpe takes a little walk off to the left to mull things over. He's been clutch for the Disciples in situations like this. Bolsenbrook comes set, working very quickly. The pitch. He got him on a high fastball. Thorpe angry at himself for expanding the zone. There's one away. And Bolsenbrook makes quick work of Will. That is strikeout number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the big right-hander from the Netherlands. And that'll bring up Austin Diemer. Diemer has struck out twice. And Bolsenbrook is set. The pitch. A high pop-up, center field. Ziegler is running. He forgot how many outs there were. The ball comes down. It's caught by Schmidt. The throw back, and he is out. A base-running mistake by Chris Ziegler. And the Disciples are doing everything in their power to hand this ball game to the Legionnaire, defensively and base-running-wise. And the inning is over. We go to the 8th. It is 3-1. In favor of the Buchbinder Legionäre. This is Hard Disciples Baseball präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. We go to the top of the 8th inning here in Haar. Regensburg 3, Haar 1, and the new pitcher on the mound for the Disciples is the right-hander Nate Sean Thomas. He moves from the shortstop position to the mound. Chris Ziegler moves from third base to shortstop, and the designated hitter now will just come out onto the field, David Wallace. He will play third base. And Thomas, who has pitched a total of 3 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. He's had 1 or 2 good outings and then a couple of clunkers. And so he's going to try to keep things as they are here in the 8th inning. Top of the order for the Buchbinder Legionäre, Lucas Jan, and then Matt Vance and Eric Harms. First pitch from Thomas is high, ball 1. Nate Sean, who always likes to come in and start a clean inning rather than have to move from, shortstop to the pitcher's mound in the middle of an inning. There's a 1-0. Tapped foul at the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 on Lucas Jan, leading things off in the top of the 8th. 3 runs on 9 hits and no errors for Regensburg, 1, 5, and 2 for the Disciples. But they've also made a couple of bad base running plays. Miguel Pinheiro got thrown out at third. There's a pitch taken for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Chris Ziegler, forgetting how many outs there were, last inning running on a pop-up and got doubled off. Breaking ball, that is outside. Corner, strike 3. Lucas Jan not thrilled. Nate Thomas gets the strikeout. Titus von Kopf came in, he walked a batter, he only faced 2 hitters. He walked 1 guy and then got that line drive that turned into a double play. That was Ziegler making a great play. It's been a bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from the Disciples today. Matt Vance takes a breaking ball. That's on the corner for a strike from Nate Thomas. Thomas, when he's throwing that breaking ball for strikes, that's when he can really be effective. He's got a great fastball. Works from the first base side of the rubber. The fastball, this one tails inside on Vance. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vance, 2 hits and 4 trips, and his double in the 6th inning extended the lead to 2-0 for the Legionnaire. They currently lead 3-1. We are in the top of the 8th inning. The pitch, that breaking ball is outside, 2-1. Vance, with 2 outs, hit a double down the left field line to drive home Mitch Stefan. 2 balls and a strike. Thomas getting the sign, and time is asked for and received by Vance. Ziegler at short, playing a little bit towards second. There's a pretty big hole. Wallace is now taking a few steps towards the line. There's a big hole between the 2 of them. The 2-1 pitch. That one just missed the outside corner, ball 3, 3-1. Looked like another slider. There's the 3-1. That's a strike on the inside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch is coming right now. Here it comes. Check swing. And that pitch is inside, ball 4. So Thomas walks Matt Vance, and that will bring up Eric Harms. That is the 5th walk issued by Disciples pitching. And we'll see if Matt Vance is going to try to do any running. I kind of doubt it. Vance on first base. The next hitter is now Eric Harms. Harms today is 1 for 4. He singled. He scored the Legionnaires' first run. That was back in the 3rd inning. Legionnaire got 3 runs. We're going to have a pinch runner, by the way, as David Dinsky goes in to run for Matt Vance. So Vance comes out of the ballgame, and we'll see how that will be resolved defensively in the bottom half of the inning. So Dinsky better speed on first base. And Vance also having done his part. Regensburg has a very deep bench. Dinsky is not going. The pitch is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. There you see David. Thomas got the first batter on a called third strike. He walked Vance. 1 out in the inning. Eric Harms with a 1-0 count. And the next pitch is taken low. There's Thorpe popping out of the crouch, thinking about throwing behind Dinsky, who tumbled back into the first base bag. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Thomas looks for the sign from Thorpe, checks on Dinsky, comes set. A long hold, the pitch. That's a fastball strike at the knees on the inside corner. 2-1 the count on Eric Harms. Harms with that big hitch in his swing. He almost cocks the bat forward. Trying to think of some other hitters I've seen do that. I already mentioned David Ortiz. Edgar Martinez a little bit would do that from the right side. I'm now dating myself. The pitch is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Dinsky on first base, but Eric Harms at the plate. He really, you can see he's putting a lot into every swing. He's got a hit in 4 trips today to show for it. 3-1. Here it comes. The runner's going. The pitch is low. That's ball 4. So that's the trouble that Thomas has gotten himself into so far this year. It's been the control. And now Mitch Stefan, who's 3 for 4 today, steps up to the plate with ducks on the pond, as you say. We've got David Dinsky, good speed. He's the lead runner. Eric Harms, also good speed. The trail runner, he's at first. Nate-Sean Thomas in a jam of his own creation here. It is 3-1 Regensburg. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Thomas trying to get through this inning. A double play ground ball would do it. Richie Klein is in short right field, however. It's going to be tough to turn 2 like that. And time is called. And now Chris Howard's going to come out to the mound and have a chat with Nate-Sean Thomas. And he's walking out there with a brisk pace. I think he just wants to tell Thomas to go right after these guys. And sometimes you can see the nibbling starting to affect Nate Thomas out on the mound. He's just been a little uncomfortable since coming into the ball game. Pitching against, of course, a former teammate, Mitch Stefan. Stefan, 3 hits today. He singled in the 3rd, he singled in the 5th, and he doubled and then later scored. That was in the 7th inning. Chris Howard still out there. And now he leaves the mound. Well, this is a tough situation. You got the runners on first and second, both via walk. A hitter who's hit the ball hard today, including the double in the gap his last time. And Nate-Sean Thomas going to have to find his groove, try to get some outs. The Disciples would love a ground ball hit right at somebody, but Richie Klein, as I mentioned before, he goes back out to right field. It would have to be a ground ball hit to Ziegler or Wallace at third. The pitch, curve, swing and a miss. Stefan was trying to put a cap on his homecoming. He is homered, of course. He's, I believe, 3rd in Disciples history in career home runs. Josh Peterson and Mitch Stefan and Chris Ziegler. 0-1 the count to him. The pitch, breaking ball, just missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Thomas has thrown a couple of good ones this inning. That one he just missed off the corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. First and second, 1 out. We're in the 8th inning, 3-1 Regensburg, threatening for more. And the pitch outside, 2-1. That's the advantage the hitter gains when he knows the pitcher's struggling with some command. You can really zero in on one pitch in one spot. Stefan didn't chase the breaking ball the second time. He chased the first one. That was a fastball way out. You want to avoid that down and in zone to him. 2-1. The pitch on the way. Curve, and that's a beauty. That's in there for strike 2. 3 out of 4 pitches curveballs to Mitch Stefan. One out in the inning. The on-deck hitter is Mick Weigel. He's also got 2 hits and a run batted in today. Vance at second, Harms at first. Excuse me, Dinsky, the pinch runner, is at second. Harms is at first. 2-2 the pitch. Fastball. Just missed. And the count full, 3-2. But there's been a few close ones this inning. Remember, Mitch Stefan, 6'8". Strike zone's a little higher for him than it is for other people. Payoff pitch, will the runners go? And they do not. Curveball, tapped foul. The battle continues between Stefan and Thomas. Still mostly breaking pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the inning. Three to 1 Regensburg. And the payoff pitch from Nathan Thomas coming right now. Line drive, base hit to center field. Dinsky being waved around. Deemer comes up with the ball, and he will throw it into second. It's an RBI single for Mitch Stefan, and the Legionnaire lead 4-1. Mitch Stefan with a 4-hit day against his former team. Harms stopped at second base on the play, as Deemer wisely did not throw it over the cutoff man. He just got it back into center field to second base. Ball not hit all that hard. It was off the end of the bat. But Thomas, again, went to the fastball, I believe it was, and it was a little bit away from Stefan. And Philip Howard out to the mound. He's going to make a double switch. So Nathan Thomas is not going to make it through this inning, I believe. And his struggles continue. Philip Howard, it looks like I think we're going to see Luke Steinlein come into the ball game as Howard walks out to the mound. Thomas, not happy with himself, is going to give the ball to his coach and then return to a different position in the field. So we'll take a short break. It is 4-1 Regensburg. This is Hard Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. Now the right-hander Luke Steinlein is on the mound. Nate Thomas is now in right field. So Steinlein and Thomas trade positions. The rest of the defensive alignment is the same. Steinlein this year, 2 2/3 innings pitched, ERA of 3.38, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And he's going to face Mick Weigel, the designated hitter. Weigel is 2 for 4 today. It is 4-1 Regensburg, runners on first and second. Still only 1 out in the inning. And Steinlein, the right-hander, deals first pitch, a curve. High ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes to Weigel. The ball game was started by Jan Tomek, who did an admirable job, 6 1/3, 9 hits. He gave up 3 runs, only 2 earned though. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch, curve, lifted foul off to the left, out of play. A long run for Wallace, and he just missed making a fantastic catch, and he slams into the fence about chest high. That is strike 1. That's also got to hurt a little bit. There was a foul pop off to the left. One ball, 1 strike on Mick Weigel. Runners on first and second. 4-1 Regensburg leading. Luke Steinlein in relief of Nate Sean Thomas, who started the inning and gave up a couple of walks and a hit. And the pitch is outside, 2 balls and a strike. I started talking about Jan Tomek, 6 1/3. Titus van Kopf pitched 2/3 of an inning, and that was thanks to a line drive, unassisted double play with the bases loaded, turned in by Chris Ziegler. And then Thomas started this inning, and now Steinlein has to try to clean up the mess. The pitch is a strike over the outside corner, 2-2. Mick Weigel at the plate. He got the hit that got the scoring started for Regensburg. That was back in the 3rd inning. Regensburg scored a run on 3 consecutive 2-out hits. And the 2-2. Line drive up the middle, base hit into center field. Around third is Eric Harms. He will be held as the throw from Deemer is all the way into the plate on the fly. And the bases are loaded. Not sure how he hit that pitch. Look at how he brings his hands in. It was a breaking ball from Steinlein. Looking at the replay. That was an Ichiro-style hit. His feet were coming out of the box at the time. And he hit it off the end of the bat. Weigel, well, he's been dumping singles. All 3 of his hits have been like that, little bloopers. Nothing hit very hard, all off the end of the bat. But the bases are now loaded, and Nino Sakaza up the middle. The Disciples will play for a double play. The corner infielders are up. The 2 Wallace brothers, Dennis and David. Ziegler and Klein back. The pitch, fastball. That is a strike at the letters in the outside corner, 0-1. Nino Sakaza today is 0 for 4. Steinlein from the stretch, the pitch, check swing on a high fastball, and it's ball 1. Inning began with a strikeout to Lucas Jan, then walks to Vance and Harms, a single to Stefan, and then Mick Weigel greets Luke Steinlein with a single, and now a 1-1 count on Nino Sakaza. The pitch, curve, and that's a beauty. Strike 2. That's Steinlein's bread and butter. He will throw it any day, any time. He'll get up on Christmas Day and throw that pitch. Bases loaded. Harms at third, Stefan at second, Weigel at first. The 1-2, curve, and it's tapped foul into the Disciples dugout. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Regensburg scored a run in the 3rd, a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th. They've scored 1 more here in the 8th. The Disciples got 1 run in the 7th inning against Mike Bolsenbrook. That was the RBI double off the bat of Chris Ziegler. Regensburg with 4 runs on 11 hits. They have not made an error today. The Disciples 1 run, 5 hits. They have made 2 errors. And they have also given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks plus a hit batter. That's the most in recent memory that I can think of. Fastball is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded. And a curve, and Sakaza pops it up. Foul out of play off to the left. Ball landing in the Disciples bullpen yet again. The on-deck hitter, Marcel Jimenez. Again, harms the runner at third. Stefan at second. Mick Weigel, who was relieved by a pinch runner, Jeffrey Arndt, he's at first base. So we're going to see some bench players in the top half, in the bottom half of this inning, should we ever get there. This inning is taking forever. 2-2 the count. And the pitch. Line drive, center field. Deemer to his right is there, makes the catch. Runner tags from third. Deemer throws to second, so a run will score. That's a sacrifice fly. Very hard hit off the bat of Sakaza, and there are 2 down. Regensburg leads 5-1. But Deemer playing it conservatively, and that's the right play in that situation. That ball was hit very hard by Nino Sakaza, and he will get a run batted in. Marcel Jimenez will come up to the plate now with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Regensburg leading 5-1. Jeffrey Arndt is the pinch runner at first base. Mitch Stefan still at second rather. Jimenez today is 0 for 2. 2 walks. He also reached on an error. That was the bunt that Tomek threw away. Curveball. That's a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Regensburg pulling away in this one. It is 5-1. Still got some ball game left though. The Disciples in the 8th inning. Breaking ball, this one high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Regensburg had a 1-0 lead, which they extended to 2-0 in the 6th inning. They made it 3-0 in the 7th. The Disciples finally got a run on the board in the bottom of the 7th, but Mike Bolsenbrook has just been fantastic today, and swing and a miss. Good fastball from Steinlein, throwing it right past Marcel Jimenez. 1-2 the count. Bolsenbrook having to sit for a while, but a guy like him is not going to be affected by this. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Stefan at second, Arndt at first. 5-1 Regensburg. We are in the top of the 8th inning. Steinlein's pitch, curve, hit on the ground, and there's nobody there. Base hit to left field. Stefan being waved around. Pinheiro comes up throwing. Here's the play at the plate. The throw is offline, and the run scores, and both runners move up to second and third as Pinheiro overthrew the cutoff man. 6-1 Regensburg. Stefan scores. Arndt goes to third. Jimenez with an RBI single and takes second on the throw. The shortstop Ziegler was way over up the middle, but that ball was in the hole. It would have been a base hit whether he was standing there or not. Pinheiro with an ill-advised throw to the plate, and he overthrew everybody, and that allows runners to now be in second and third for Elias von Garson. The pitch, that's a ball inside. The inning that won't end. There's actually a great podcast called The Infinite Inning, in case anybody's out there wants to check out an American baseball podcast. Infinite Inning, the inning that just will not end, and that's what's happening right now. The pitch is high. 2 balls and no strikes to Elias von Garson. Regensburg with a commanding 6-1 lead now. Runners on second and third. Arndt and Jimenez. Breaking ball, that's a beauty. Strike 1. Threw him a 2-0 breaking ball. And the 2-1 popped up out of play. 2-2 the count. Steinlein hasn't had too many opportunities this year to pitch. As I mentioned, he only came in with 2 2/3 innings pitched, but he's always been an excellent reliever and at times a starter for the Disciples. There's the 2-2. Curve, slapped foul off to the right, out of play. He was their main starter back in 2014. But he and Kevin Treasel switched roles in 2015, and Steinlein told me he prefers bullpen work. He likes coming in late in the game. 2-2 pitch. Popped up foul. Thorpe giving it a look over near the screen, and he can't make the catch. Boy, he banged up against the screen as the ball hit the net. Well, that's been a couple of foul pops. David Wallace ran into the metal fence along the third base line. It is not soft. Thorpe looked like he was bracing himself for that, but he still hit it quite hard. This has been a tough inning for the Disciples. 2-2 still the count. Runners on second and third. Arndt and Jimenez. Good speed out there. And the pitch. Breaking ball. That's outside. Ball 3. Full count. There has not been a single 1-2-3 inning for Disciples pitching. The closest they came was the first inning when Jan Tomek faced only 4 hitters. Since then, it's been a merry-go-round. The 3-2, breaking ball, bouncing ball to short, Siegler, and it goes right between his legs into the outfield, and 2 runs are going to score. My goodness. E6, and the infinite inning continues. Arndt scores and Jimenez scores. It is now 8-1 Regensburg. Baseball is a sport that requires extreme mental toughness. And right now, the Disciples are starting to hang their heads a little bit. It's a game that can be cruel. You know, Ziegler, who had a great play, diving, making that double play. He had a clutch hit to get the Disciples on the board. And here we are an inning later, not even a half inning later, and the wagon wheels are falling off. The 9th hitter to bat in the inning, Alex Schmidt. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. A 5 spot so far here in the 8th inning. 3 errors in the ballgame for the Disciples. And the pitch is high. Sometimes, you know, innings like this is where you can look back anecdotally. Ground ball to third. Wallace keeps it in front of him, fires to first, and gets his man. And that brings the seemingly infinite inning to an end. 9 batters bat, 5 runs score. And we go to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Haar. It is 8-1 Regensburg. This is Haar Disciples Baseball, präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, 8-1 Regensburg. Mike Bolsenbrook now with a very large cushion. And what does he do? He starts off Richie Klein with a slider at the knees on the outside corner. Lest you think Bolsenbrook would groove one just to be nice. Nope. There's a foul right to the screen, strike 2. 0-2 on Richie. Richie has struck out twice. Just to give a comparison, the entire lineup for Regensburg has had 5 plate appearances today. That pitch is outside. And Richie is now just coming up for his 3rd plate appearance of the game. Mike Bolsenbrook has just been fantastic. And, you know, game with a score like 8-1. There's a swing and a bouncing ball to deep third. And Sakaza fires across. Good play. 1 out, 5-3 on the putout. A game like this, especially one with an 8-1 score after the 5-run 8th inning, you might be inclined to turn it off or perhaps go do something else, but you're still watching a fantastic pitching performance from Mike Bolsenbrook. And to see how he finishes out and basically watch a master at work. And there's a breaking ball to Miguel Pinheiro, and it's in there for a strike, 0-1. Bolsenbrook, 7 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, no walks. He's got 8 strikeouts. Pinheiro takes a fastball in the inside corner, 0-2. Meanwhile, the defensive alignment, David Grimes is in left field, Marcel Jimenez is in center, David Dinsky is in right, and Miguel Pinheiro strikes out swinging on a high fastball. There are very quickly 2 outs. Bolsenbrook pitching like he's got a train to catch or something. He has 9 strikeouts, and that'll bring up Dennis Wallace. And you know, other things to look for in a game like this, Dennis Wallace had his best contact of the year when he had a deep fly ball to left field, and that's a good thing for him. Got to give him some confidence, especially it was on an 0-2 pitch against the best pitcher in, you know, possibly the history of the Bundesliga. Bolsenbrook deals, and the pitch is a strike. The first one was outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. But Bolsenbrook really working quickly. 2 down, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 1-1, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, and he was waving at that breaking ball, and very quickly the inning is almost over. I thought that was strike 3, but I guess it's strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. My apologies. But I bet we're going to see that pitch again, breaking ball away. Here it comes. Fastball inside, and he tied him up. Bolsenbrook strikes out Dennis Wallace, and he has 10 in the ball game. He has been superb. A perfect 8th inning, and we go to the 9th. It is 8-1 Regensburg. Top of the 9th inning, Regensburg leading 8-1 here over the Haar Disciples on Tuesday, May the 1st, 2018. Luke Steinlein against Lucas Jan, top of the order. Jan and then David Dinsky and Eric Harms And the first pitch is outside, ball 1. This was a close ball game until the last inning. And the 1-0, swing and a miss. This is Jan's 6th plate appearance today, and he is 0 for 5. Legionnaire with 8 runs on 12 hits. And the pitch popped up left side. David Wallace drifting over into foul ground, and he stays with it and makes the catch for the first out. And that's 1 away. So David Dinsky will step up to the plate. This is his first at-bat. He entered the ballgame for Matt Vance as a pinch runner. Eventually came around and scored. He's hitting .357 this year, 5 hits and 14 at-bats, including a double and a triple. And that breaking ball is a strike at the knees on the outside corner from Steinlein, 0-1. The Disciples, 1 run, 5 hits. They have made, according to the official score, I have 4 counted. On Game Changer, it only says 3. I wonder if we missed something there. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Pitch is upstairs and inside. He has to bend out of the way of that one. 2-1 the count to David Dinsky. Eric Harms on deck. Mike Bolsenbrook might come out, although there is activity in the bullpen for the Legionnaire. Maybe they give one of their youngsters an inning or so. The curve, that's in there for strike 2. A nice pitch from Steinlein. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mike Bolsenbrook, by the way, if he doesn't come back out there, 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, 10 strikeouts. He now has 38 strikeouts on the year and 1 walk. Ground ball to the left side. Big hop for David Wallace. He fields it chest high. The throw is low. Scooped by his brother, but not in time. As Dinsky getting down the line good, beat it out. Good play by both Wallaces. David at the third base side to field that ball and get a good throw across the diamond. And a good scoop by Dennis. But Dinsky beat it, so he's at first base with a single. And Eric Harms is going to be pinch hit for. This, I believe, is Janis Mušik. So 57, excuse me, that's David Grimes. Right, Grimes entered the game for Eric Harms, rather, excuse me. So Grimes comes up to the plate, swings and misses on the first pitch. His batting average 158, 3 hits and 19 at-bats. Of his 3 hits, he's got a double and a triple. He hits a fly ball to right field down the line. Thomas chasing it, and it lands foul. That's strike number 2 for David Grimes. Oh, and 2 on David Grimes. Runner on first base is David Dinsky. Pitch on the way, fouled away. Still 0-2. Some kids running after some foul balls, it looks like. Looks like the Legionnaire youth team. It's been a big day of baseball here in Sports Park Egelfing. 0-2. Fastball high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, 2, curveball. That is, they appeal. Yes, he did, says Dan DeBacco. That's strike 3. I thought that they were going to get the call on the pitch, but they had to wait for home plate umpire Stefan Hempfling to make the appeal to Dan DeBacco, and DeBacco made the call. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Mitch Stefan. Stefan looking to have a 5-hit day. He's 4 for 5. He's scored a run and driven one in. He's got a double and 3 singles. Pitches inside. Steinlein, of course, the ex-Fürth Pirate, and Stefan, the ex-Füssen Royal Bavarian. One and 0, the pitch. Line shot foul, and that is strike one. They're not holding the runner Dinsky on at first base. Dennis Wallace playing behind him. Stefan hit that ball very hard. It is 8-1 Regensburg. We're in the top of the 9th inning. 2 outs. And I think we're waiting for the ball to be retrieved, as one of the Regensburg bullpen folk is out there in the corner getting it. Now he has done so. 1-1 from Steinlein to Stefan. And the pitch. Fly ball, right field. Nate Thomas drifting over near the line. He's got a beat on it, and he makes the catch to end the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, and that is, by comparison, the quickest inning the Disciples have had on the defensive side since the first inning. Only 4 batters came to the plate. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left on base. The Legionnaire have left at least 1 base runner in every single inning of this game, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is Regensburg 8, Haar 1. This is Haar Disciples Baseball. Präsentiert von dem Gesundheitsunternehmen MSD. So we're in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Mike Bolsenbrook's day is done, as Jonathan Eisenhut, Johnny Eisenhut, will come up and try to finish it off. His first pitch to the number 9 hitter, David Wallace, is outside. Ball 1. Bolsenbrook was great. Next pitch is a strike, 1-1. Bolsenbrook, 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. He brings his season total in strikeouts to 38 against 1 walk. There's a breaking ball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Johnny Eisenhut has only pitched 1 inning this year. It was a good one. He struck out 1, did not allow a run or a hit. The 2-1 pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. It'll be 9-1-2. Wallace, and then top of the order, Luke Steinlein and Nate Thomas, the 2-2. Breaking ball, and he tapped it. He fouled it, but it was caught on the fly, apparently, by Elias von Garson. And that's strike 3. Take another look at the replay. Chasing a breaking ball way outside of the zone. And von Garson backhanding it before it hit the dirt. So 1 down in the 9th inning. Regensburg 2 outs away from a victory. The pitch, that's off the plate away. My next broadcast, by the way, will be on Wednesday, May the 9th at 6 p.m. That's before Vatertag, which is a holiday on Thursday. And these two teams will meet back here. That will be the foreigner game. This pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. And that'll be Bill Greenfield for the Legionnaire against, I presume, Michael Click. It'll be either Michael Click or Darren Fisher. There's a liner into center field. That's a base hit. Eisenhut trying a quick pitch Steinlein, and Steinlein having none of it. Lines it into center field, so he's aboard. And that'll bring up Nathan Thomas. Nathan Thomas has had 2 hits today. And this day has been a mix of good and bad for the Disciples. You know, Ziegler has had a good play and a big hit, but then he made the 2 errors. Nathan Thomas, finally 2 hits. He's had trouble with the bat lately, but, you know, on the mound today it was not his day. Baseball is a complicated sport. There's a strike. It's when you get done with a game like this and you say, well, how was your day? Obviously, the main takeaway is, well, if the team lost, everybody on that team had a bad day. Pitch is swung on and hit on the ground to the left side. It's blocked by Schmidt, but he's got nowhere to throw the ball, and Nathan Thomas has another base hit. So, you know, you got to split these things a little bit more finely, and Nathan Thomas has had a good day at the bat. He's 3 for 4. Wasn't a great day off the mound. Ziegler has had a little bit of both. Luke Steinlein with the base hit. Jan Tomek was good, but again got no run support. Titus von Kopf, a successful 2-out stint. And now here's Chris Ziegler and the pitch. A high fly ball, he got under it to center field. This is Marcel Jimenez waiting for it to come down, and he puts it away. That's the 2nd out of the inning. And so with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, a 7-run lead for the Buchbinder Legionäre, and William Thorpe will step up to the plate. Try and keep things going. Thorpe today 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Bolsenbrook was tough on him. He got him chasing a couple of high fastballs. And the pitch from Eisenhut. That is a high fastball. Thorpe takes it, ball 1. 2 on with 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ball game that was close until the 8th inning. It was 4-1, and then Regensburg opened it up to 8-1. The 1-0 pitch outside, 2-0. Eisenhut being careful. You never know, of course. It ain't over till it's over. 2-0. The pitch. Throws him a curve on 2-0 and gets it in for a strike. That's a good pitch from Johnny Eisenhut. Eisenhut, who is actually a native of Solingen. Time is called. Thorpe with a 2-1 count. Here it comes. Breaking ball. And strike 2 is called. So, Regensburg a strike away. The pitch. Popped up, foul behind the plate. Might hit me in the head, might land to my left. In fact, it lands to my left. I see leaves falling. It's like a game of Plinko when a ball goes up there. If you want to really have a good time, Google Plinko. The Price of Right Plinko. 2-2. Here's the pitch. That ball crushed and foul. Boy, ball. Will Thorpe hitting that ball nearly into the parking lot. That looked like all of the frustration of the last inning in one swing. But it was foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Steinlein and Thomas, the base runners. Curve, drilled deep down the line, foul again. That's another shot off the bat of Will Thorpe. Bouncing over the bullpen and out of play. Eisenhut thinking, okay, he's on my fastball, let me throw him a breaking ball, and same result. The crowd's still into it. Doesn't really matter that it's a 7-run game. It's still a game, and it's a fun one. 2-2, here it comes. curve, drilled foul again. This one almost getting a piece of the photographer down the third baseline. Johnny Eisenhuth, the right-hander, trying to get the final strike of the game. However he can. Runners leading first and second. It's a 7-run lead. Regensburg 8, Haar 1. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. And again, the 2-2 pitch. That's high, and now the count full. So the runners will go. Although who really cares? It's a 7-run deficit. They're not being held on anyway. But at the very least, it increases the chance that Thorpe might beat out a grounder. The payoff pitch popped up. This is going to stay in play. The second baseman, Jan, is underneath it, and he's got it to end the ball game. And the final score, the Buchbinder Legionäre 8, the Haar Disciples 1. 8 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Legionnaire. 1 run, 7 hits, 4 errors for the Haar Disciples. The Legionnaire stranded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 base runners. The Disciples stranded 3. So that should tell you everything you need to know right there. Ball game ending at about 11 minutes after 6. So it's 3 hours and 9 minutes long. Winning pitcher, of course, Mike Bolsenbrook. He was fantastic, as he always is. And the losing pitcher, tough luck loser, Jan Tomek, who pitched admirably yet again. But the game is over, and Regensburg wins by a score of 8-1. My name is Tim Collins. I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. Please subscribe on YouTube, and the highlights will be up later tonight on EuroBaseballTV.com, which, of course, links directly to both my Facebook and YouTube page. And our next broadcast, and by our, I mean my, will be Wednesday, May the 9th, between the same 2 teams, the Buchbinder Legionäre Regensburg and the Haar Disciples. Meanwhile, on Saturday, the Disciples will travel to Stuttgart, and Stuttgart Reds TV will broadcast that. So be sure to tune in to them. They are broadcasting over, you can find it at stuttgartreds.com and also at sportdeutschland.tv. So thanks again for tuning in. My name's Tim Collins. Have a wonderful 1. Mai, everybody.